Hello, and welcome to our Tuesday evening workshop. We're kicking things off with a cart to curb update from our friends of the Public Works Department. Please introduce yourself and take it away, and if I can ask councilors to hold their questions until the end.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Megan Bates. I'm the Deputy for Maintenance and Operations.
I'm John Kaczynski, Environmental Services Superintendent.
So we have some news tonight. We've got some dates to provide to you for Cart to Curb. We have August 3rd. The carts will be distributed throughout the city.
Begin.
It will take about 3 or 4 weeks to distribute all of them. They will come with some information with the carts that will explain about cart placement. It will come with a resource guide, which will answer a lot of questions that people have asked us already. We worked with the marketing department with Angela Morris, and they've done a fantastic job on a resource guide that will be, again, included with the carts. We've also been distributing them at various public meetings, which I'll explain in a minute. The city has been working really well with Casella. Casella has put out some really good communications material, or will be, and so has the city of Lewiston. But again, it's 23,000 carts, 3 to 4 weeks to get distributed. And the date that they provided us, it may change, for the actual start of the program is August 24th. Again, it depends on how long it takes them to distribute. So it may be a little earlier, or it may be a little later. But with the carts will be information about the start date. Letters will go out. Casella will have a letter that will be drafted and be sent out to residents. They're sending out a postcard as well. So they got 2 things that they'll be sending through the mail, plus information with the carts. On the public meetings, John and I did one last week at the Lewiston Library that went well. The audience asked some good questions. It was really a good evening, and we're looking forward to doing the other 4. So we do one tomorrow night at Geiger School. These are all from 5:30 to 7. And then we have one at Clarion on July 29th, McMahon on August 6th, and Hoppers at Apple Valley Golf Course on August 12th. So we hope you all will join us at one of those. Again, I've already mentioned about information that comes with the carts. The resource guide is something we also pass out at the public meeting. So we get it distributed as best we can, because not everybody has a smartphone. Not everyone has a computer. So Casella will own and distribute these carts, and they'll manage them throughout the contract. So they have a customer, Casella, it's hard to say, Casella customer care telephone number that people can call if they have any questions. And then Public Works has an after-hours telephone number that people can call that will hook them up right with the Casella customer care telephone number. We've also had, the city has also generated posters that were posted in various areas around the city that talk about the public meetings that we're having. The communications, the marketing department has done a great job on the Cart to Curb website page. They've updated that. On the solid waste page, there is a map that you can enter your address. It will take you right to your property. It will tell you the date, the time of the week that you have pickup, and for more specific locations where there is going to be a back down or a group pickup, that will be on that information also as you look at your property. It will tell you exactly what kind of pickup that you have. Casella will also provide with their carts a brochure which will talk about cart placement, a recycling brochure, and they're really trying to push their app. There's a YouTube video that you can view about their app. It's really, it's pretty neat. You can get that off any of your app stores on your cell phone. It will have a place where you can see a calendar, which will also tell you what the day of the week your collection is. It has like a recycle wizard where you can put any type of material down, cereal box, pickle jar, whatever type of material you have, and it will tell you whether or not it's recyclable or not. It will also, the calendar will also include any type of holiday changes. We have how many dates, how many holidays? Four dates where that will have an impact on your trash pickup, the day of the week of your trash pickup. Also, as part of the education program, when these cards get distributed, it's going to take people a while to get acclimated to it. So Casella will be right there. They'll be working about 2 or 3 weeks with placing the carts if they're not in the right location. They'll put a tag on them, just providing instructions on, making sure the lid is down, making sure they're so many feet apart. If they're too close to an obstacle like a tree or a mailbox, they'll make it clear on the tag. Okay, and if anyone has a question, once they read the tag, they can call the Casella customer care telephone number. Now, with some of these streets, I had mentioned back at the March 3rd workshop, I talked about there are like 100 streets that were going to be a little bit challenging. So the map will explain which streets have those more challenging scenarios. And they're mostly narrow streets that have no turnaround. So Casella's used to backing down them. They back down them now, but with the side load, it's only the right side that they'll be picking up. So people will have to take their carts. Some people will have to take their carts and bring them across the street instead of having them right in front of their residence. So also the traffic division at Public Works will be, or have already started installing parking signs that provide some direction. They're about halfway through the installation of those.
I think you got it.
I think we've concluded. That's our update. We're open for questions.
I appreciate all of your work and help with this. I know it'll be a little bit of a learning curve for residents, but I'm sure we'll have it down in short order.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, comments from the council? Yes, Councilor Roy.
Thank you. One question that comes to mind is, have we decided on what's going to happen with fall and spring cleanup with leaves and all that such? Like, I know that's a big question for a lot of people because some people don't have access to be able to bring it to, the dump and all that stuff. So where did we land on that?
Right. So we're going to run a program similar to the brush pickup that we do in the spring. This one's going to occur in the fall. There'll be some restrictions with Casella. If you had 50 bags out there, they'd pick up 50 plastic bags of leaves. Our program is going to start on November 16th, Monday, November 16th. You'll have to have them, everyone in the city, if you want your leaves picked up, will have to have them out at curb on that date. And then Public Works will take a week to pick up the leaves. They will need to be in a compostable or a paper bag to be picked up. Oh, I'd like to add to that if I could. I'm sorry. If there is a restriction, I'm not sure if we're going to have a restriction with how many bags we're going to get picked up, but we'll have information on that as the date gets closer to November 16th. I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
We're here all night.
I remember now. Okay, so if you want, you can put them in your waste container. If you have room, you can put them in a plastic trash bag, and when you have room, just put them there, because if anyone's like me, I don't get everything done in 1 week. I'm doing this, for like a couple of months. I have oak trees, and I'm fighting snowflakes to get the leaves up. So that's why we have the late date of November 16th, and you have the carts that you can use as well. And we'll have a free disposal at the solid waste facility for leaves for 1 week with 2 Saturdays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions from the council? Councilor Najin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason why we're putting them in compostable bags is because we're actually not going to put them in the landfill. Is that correct?
We are working right now on trying to get those composted.
So we'll be diverting
either working with a
waste.
company or doing it in-house.
Okay. The two major concerns that I've heard overall, other than the concept of renting a second trash bin, which some people have voiced some concern over because there's cost to it, even the smaller bin, some folks have some concerns about older folks being able to move them around, also not being able to maybe fit them in spaces that the smaller bins used to fit in. So, in the hallway of your house, things like that. There's really no flexibility on we have either 64 or 96, is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
And there won't be a flexibility on that.
We
Not-
we looked at those smaller bins, but according to Casella, the way the arm works, the smaller bins do not get gripped by the arm very well, and they often fall into the truck. So they found them as not very useful for doing the trash collection.
Yeah. Understood.
We have a couple of samples over here, and they're relatively easy to wheel, so for most people.
And we would strongly recommend individuals to come to one of the public meetings so they can actually try the carts, roll them around and see what they're like.
Okay, and just to come back to the leaf pickup. So at this moment, you're thinking that there will not be a restriction on the number of bags, but there may be?
As long as they're in paper.
No, I'm talking about the number, like the actual number that you're putting out. At my property, for instance, I can fill 30 trash bags with leaves. And so if we're looking at just that 1 week window, I would highly encourage if we can convince Casella to just pick up whatever leaves get put out there.
So that would be done in-house. So
Public
we're
Works
gonna
is
do
picking
it.
it up.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
Casella's not doing the leaf pickup. We are.
interesting. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here. Could we find out if we can get different size trash cans of the two? I have been told, and it wasn't very clear though, that I have to get the 96-gallon trash cans because I have a multi-unit building, and I can't have the 64-gallon ones. And it's just going to be a big change to go from a 32-gallon bin, which is the maximum we're allowed to use now, to 96, and also have to have one for every single unit. So can we get the smaller bins?
Once the program's going, Casella said you can call up customer care and then begin that process of changing out bin sizes. Right now, everything's been programmed, for the bins have been ordered to have them distributed. So that's how it's been distributed based on the contract. But after it gets rolled out, after the 24th, if it's just instead of call customer care, it may take a week or two to get to it, but they may swap them out for you. So
Okay.
it's not, if you don't want 3 bins, you only want 1 or 2, then that's all you don't have to take all the bins that you take, they're
we're not
offered.
requiring people to take the bins.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you want 1 bin, you get 1. If you want 3, when you're entitled to 3, it's just that you're not going to get 4 or 5 or 6.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just wondering, the examples that you have here, could we maybe wheel them over here?
Sure.
So maybe the public, because maybe some folks wouldn't be able to get out there.
Just a moment.
Thank you.
This is the 65 bin.
Now, we have 2 samples here. The recycle bin that we have here has a blue top. But if you have a single residential or duplex, you'll get 2 of the 64, 65 gallon. It's just that one that the waste will have the black top and the recycle will have the blue top.
Right.
Just as a reminder, if you have a 3-unit or larger, you'll get 195 waste container per unit, and then 3 units will share 1 recycle, 95 gallon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilor Najin, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only other question I have is, because Casella is going to be doing the customer service aspect, if there is a situation in which a taxpayer wants to escalate a complaint, how is that done? Do we just go
It
ahead?
will all be managed. They'll be, like I said, they'll be owned and managed. The service will be owned and managed by Casella. So that's all these people do, is take care of their customers. So they'll be managing that.
Even if, okay, so there's no city side?
There is not.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions from the council? Yeah, Councilor Noble, yes.
Single-family homes will be getting like a big recycling like this?
No.
No.
They'll get 2 of the 64, 65 gallon.
Okay,
One will have a blue cover like this.
okay,
It's just the cover changes.
okay. So we'll get 2, though. We'll have one for recycling and then one for our trash?
Correct, one. And if you have an ADU, it's going to be an additional trash and recycling.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Longchamp.
So sorry. So if I understood this right, if you have, let's say, a 5-unit, but you only need 3 trash cans, you don't have to get 5. You can simply call and say, I would just like 3. But you're not going to give me 7 for a 5-unit.
Right, yes.
You can get less if you want.
You can get less.
Thank you.
Councilor Najin.
I promise I'll go to one of the workshops because I have a lot more questions. But just to clarify, I do believe that for a period of time we were allowing residential properties to request the larger
Correct.
cans.
We
And so
had a- we
if
had
that
a-
was done,
Yeah,
then we'll get the larger cans. And then if you get the smaller cans now as a residential, you can still talk to Casella and switch it out.
correct, after the program is rolled out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anything further, councilors? My plan for my residents is to see what gets dropped off and then go from there. I really appreciate both of you being here. Thanks for this beautiful demo.
I
And
just have one more
oh
comment.
yeah, sorry,
Well,
please.
the only thing I'd ask is that for people to have patience with us as we roll this out and we learn this together, how to do this, you know.
It's new to everybody.
And get accustomed to the new program.
Yes, no, great advice for us all. Yeah, let's just be patient, and if there's questions, call customer care. Thank you all. This
very
now
much.
concludes our anything from you, Deputy Director Bates?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you, councilors. This now concludes our workshop, and I hope to start at 7 with our regular scheduled meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday evening council meeting. We are fortunate, very fortunate, to have all of you, but also very fortunate to have the Honorable Craig Settlemeyer here, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Craig, I appreciate your service to our city. Thank you. Madam Clerk, I believe we're ready to begin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All roll call votes for this meeting will begin with the Councilor of Ward 7.
And I understand we have minutes.
You do of the June 30th and July 7th meetings.
May I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councilor Martell. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilor from Ward 7,
Yes.
Ward 1,
Yes.
Ward 2,
Yes.
Ward 3,
Yes.
Ward 4,
Yes.
Ward 5,
Yes.
Ward 6.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We are now up to our public comment period. Any member of the public may make comments regarding issues pertaining to Lewiston City Government. This period is reserved for non-agenda items. Public comment is also allowed during individual agenda items. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Please state your name for the record, and please indicate if you are a Lewiston resident. Per our council rules, this period is reserved for Lewiston residents only. Because this is the business meeting of the City Council, all questions should be directed to the mayor, who has staff to follow up at a future time. It is illegal for the City Council to allow comments related to personnel matters. All personnel complaints should be made directly to the City Administration Office.
Tell me if, is it all right, Mayor?
You're coming in loud and clear, Ronnie. Thank you.
Okay. Ronnie Parity, Ward 6. I got a couple of thank yous I want to give out. First of all, to administration and to Angie's department for setting up Martell's school thing. Thank you. I'm really happy. It seems like years and everything, but now we got Martell and everything, and hopefully it will be a really good place for seniors. I think it will be, and everything. So thank you to administration and again to Angie's department for setting it up. My second thank you is to Josh on Ward 1 because he let us know through, and I wish the city would let us know about the big fire on Main Street. I think we need to notice that when I hear alarms that go up and not know what's going on, it's pretty thing. So someone needs to notify the city when things like that happen. So thank you, Josh, for putting that on Facebook and everything. I want to bring up something. I'm going to take a different stance on things. I would like people to start talking about issues and not people. And I'm going to do that. I acknowledge that I have talked about people and maybe insulted people. I know I have. I think in order to stop violence for our kids, we as adults have to be examples. And if we're not, our kids are seeing what we're doing. And when, like, the city council fights or they insult anybody or I insult somebody, oh, well, they're doing it. Why can't we do it? We need to learn to say something nice to somebody. And I would recommend to city council, say something nice to somebody before you start a meeting and everything. I've heard of this. It works. And we got to show our kids that we less insult or put down policies and not people. If we don't like a policy, we can say it. And I think we should disagree on policies, but we don't have to bring down people. And I've been guilty of it too. And I want to change it because I think it will help our young people in the community to say, oh, those adults know how to act. And if they watch us, remember that. Thank you.
Good evening. Andrew Jones, Ward 2. It was a perfect segue there from Ronnie about talking nice about some folks, because I actually have some compliments here to share. So I was at the Auburn City Hall last night for their city council meeting. I got to see how things were run over there, and I have to say that I have more respect now for Kathy Monteo, our parliamentarian. She runs a great meeting. I wanted to get in earlier to pick her brain on something, but it just didn't work out. So Kathy does a great job, and I wanted to acknowledge that. The other tip of the hat I wanted to put out there was for Councilor Chrissy Noble. I sent you an email, and I wanted to actually come in public comment and say it as well. We got to see a side of you last council meeting that I think you awoke, and you're willing to use your voice on the council as you called out the council president for perceived malfeasance. So just want to let you know that I appreciate that, and I hope you find that strength more often. That's what I think is needed there. Couple other things. We dealt out some compliments, so got some other things to say. This one's directed at Councilor Chittum. Likewise, Noble had some complaints about you, as did the rest of the council, about some double dealing behind the scenes. It's hopefully getting addressed later tonight. You should never do that. You lose the trust of everyone up there when you do something like that. The last wag of the finger is going to be directed at a member of the safety committee. As you are all aware, there's been some issues on Bartlett Street involving the mosque and the towing company. And there was an altercation a couple of weeks ago involving somebody who was walking a dog down the street. And there was talk about having an organized dog walk down Bartlett, which I agree is intentionally inflammatory, and I'm glad it ultimately didn't happen. However, a member of your safety committee made comments on social media about leaving dog treats that were laced with X-Lax in order to, I don't know, punish anyone who might actually try to do that. I don't think that a member of the safety committee should be advising you in any capacity if they're going to make comments, even in jest, about poisoning the animals of the citizens of Lewiston. So I would like to see you do something about that. Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Matthew Egrin, Ward 4. Honorable Council, Mayor, City staff, and the general public. I was glad to be there for the groundbreaking at the Martell School Project, Part 1, 44 units of senior housing, and to watch my friends Ronnie and Louise shovel sand. After long delays, it's now starting, and hopefully there'll be a ribbon cutting next July and allow our seniors to be able to move into that space, as well as start phase 2 of construction. I want to give a shout out to the city for its quick response to the Main Street 425 fire. It was nice to see Brian at the Armory on his vacation, and how fast people got services around for these people. Now, we all want the city of Lewiston to improve, but what that means is we need to be able to come together and agree on what issues are facing Lewiston. That means we have to be able to cross party lines and find those common ground points that we can all agree on, and then work on solutions we can all agree on. I never expect the members of the left and the right to fully agree on all issues, but there comes time that you all see the same issues. Let's fix them. You were all elected to represent your wards first, and then the rest of the city and the taxpayers second. We all want improved public safety, and with the understanding it's going to cost us money, but if spent wisely, this will be money well spent to make our city safer. And we want the whole of Lewiston as one city to be safer, because if we solely focus on downtown and the Tree Streets area, then all we're going to do is push the problems from one part of Lewiston to another. Finally, I know that there's a plan in the works to redesign how the third floor works, code, planning, economic development, into one larger, as I understand it, fully interconnected organization. I fully support this. One of the things I'd like to see our economics unit focus more on is, instead of that one big project that brings in 200 plus jobs, maybe 10 smaller projects that will each bring us in 20 jobs. So that if, God forbid, we lose a project, we're not losing 200 jobs. Sometimes it's felt over the last couple of years that the economic development has not been properly pre-reviewing projects that are coming before the council. So the council, with the citizens objecting as well, has been forced to turn down projects or bring them back again at the next meeting with cleaned up language, proposals, etc. Thank you for your time.
Hi, David Rackmills, resident in Ward 1. It's been a busy year in Lewiston, and there's been a lot for you all to consider. I want to acknowledge that and express my thanks to each of you for your service to our community. You deserve credit for your commitment to moving Lewiston forward. You've come under attack individually and as a group, and I encourage you to focus on that last part. You are all part of a team. You don't have a coach. You don't compete head-to-head with other teams, and you may not have a shared sense of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, but you need to, or you won't be effective. So talk to each other. And keep in mind that accountability works best when it comes from within the community rather than outside forces. There's been some valuable public dialogue this year. Let's have more of it here and in other forums, like the school committee. Keep in mind that there are community members that are not comfortable speaking publicly, but whose voices are equally important. And let's keep it respectful. Don't let personal animosities cloud your judgment and muddle your message. At the last meeting, one of the public commenters was lamenting the divisiveness of some of the discourse. And she specifically asked why people weren't supporting the school budget. As one of those people, I can offer that there are a variety of reasons why someone might vote against the budget. Doing so does not mean or should not imply that one doesn't care about the community or our youth. 2 years ago, Councilor Gallant voted against the school budget and emphatically declared his right to opine on the reasons. Notably, he also gave messaging advice to the LEA and school administration. If the problems in our schools can't be discussed, then they can't be addressed. My motivation around the school budget referendum this year was to try to make space for the necessary conversations to begin. If you haven't seen the Sunlight in Our Schools petition, I believe it's still up on the bulletin board behind this chamber, and I have some extra copies. I'd be happy to discuss it with Missy Frax, or for whom I have immense respect, and anyone else in the community that is curious. Dialogue is the key to making meaningful change. So let's hold ourselves accountable, and let's keep talking.
Hi, my name is...
Can you move the mic closer to you, please? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim Bush. I live in Ward 2. I'm here to discuss something that happened about a month ago. This has been a reoccurring problem, and I have been doing a lot of observation and documentation, and I just wanted to speak to you guys tonight about what I've witnessed and let you know my thoughts on any possible solutions to reduce public safety for these individuals. I live on Walnut Street in Lewiston. I'm between Horton and Bartlett. I have seen so much chaos, I can't sleep at night. I'm a nervous wreck all the time. I can't deal with it. And it's harder now because my friend, Kelly, was shot in the face a couple of weeks ago, and I'm the one who brought her into my yard and hid her behind my car. And I wiped her blood and did what I could to help her. There were some significant things that had happened the week before. She was out there with another individual, and that individual was having a medical issue, and so I was out there. The two of us were assisting them. Two guys came walking by, and they started saying stuff to us, and then they threatened to shoot us. We ignored them, and they said, "I will shoot you all." They took their gun out, and they kept aggravating. We attended to our friend that needed our help. They walked away. A week later, exactly a week later, at exactly the same time, a vehicle came by and did what they did. I've seen a little bit of a spin on this, that this might be a random act of violence. I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm an eyewitness, and I have plenty of witnesses that are terrified to approach the police department with what they're seeing on the street. This has been continuing to happen even after the shooting. Individuals are reporting to me that these certain individuals keep coming through the area where they hang out. They know where they hang out, and they keep antagonizing and threatening them. This is statistics that the police department or safety committees are not going to be aware of. These are underprivileged individuals. Some of them are substance addiction people. And so I'm looking at the combination of homelessness, substance use, safety. What are the solutions? I went to a meeting at the Phoenix House, which is a sober house that supports substance use people, and a lot of discussion was had about availability at treatment centers or availability at beds. And so we do have a shelter that has 40 beds, but those people are occupying those beds. They're continuing to occupy those beds, and they won't be getting out of those beds. Well, on the day that my friend was shot, she desperately needed a bed. And I keep thinking back to that. It was hot. It was 93 degrees. She has a heart condition, and she basically drank a bunch of alcohol and sat in a spot that she normally doesn't. It wasn't safe to be there. I wasn't able to pay attention. I have security cameras all around my building. That's why I'm telling you, I know what's happening. And unfortunately, she was in the wrong spot. But this is not random, and I'm asking these individuals who are being threatened, what would you like to see? And they would like to see the police department be a little bit more engaged as they're going in through the area. The police department is in the area often, and a lot of times they're complaining about loitering. You need to move along, you need to move along. Even if the people are being peaceful and lovely. Some of these individuals aren't really doing anything wrong, but they feel as though they're being picked on and harassed. Some of the things that I have seen with the engagement with the police department, with these individuals, I'm not going to mention here, but let's just say one of them involved a significant head injury that I took pictures of, and they were terrified to say how it had happened. It certainly wasn't intentional, but it was part of a process where somebody else was being pinned on their face on the ground because they were being disorderly. That individual has a substance use issue and a mental health issue. Her friend came over, you're hurting her, I'm scared, and you can't charge an officer when they're apprehending someone. That's the rule, and they had every right to respond. But unfortunately for them, they're only 85-pound woman, and they got a big wound on the back of their head like that. So my feelings are, I want to see more community engagement with the most disadvantaged people. I would like to see funding allocated to places where it's, substance use treatment can be acquired by these individuals. My understanding is that some of the hospitals will typically treat a severe alcohol addiction, but if it's heroin, crack, or anything else, I've seen these individuals back on the street in 48 hours, getting into fights, being stolen from, and being in danger. So it's my hope.
If I can get you to wrap up in a few seconds here.
It's my hope that we can just be more aware of that and see if we can get some support in that. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, your first name?
Kim.
Kim.
Oh, I went past, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Kim Fush, Ward 2.
Oh.
So.
Deputy Administrator, can you please give her my card? If you can email me, Kim, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Further public comment?
Charles Soul, 70 Horton Street, Lewiston, Maine. This morning I had an appointment at the Challenger Drive clinic, Veterans Clinic. And on both sides of the road, there were tractor trailers parked, some going in the correct direction of traffic and some parked not. And then there was pallets, trash, and cans. They got trash cans there that are not being picked up. I wish that the City Council would take in consideration putting no parking signs, the collapsible ones which you use on Pine Street, on Challenger Drive, at least one side, because what they're doing, I had to wait to drive up through the middle of the street to let another car by. And I'm here representing Brad Dillman. He is the facility manager for the Veterans Administration. He said he had already discussed it with the city, and he had no luck. So I'm hoping you can do that. At least put up the collapsible no parking signs on one side of the street. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up is that I believe that Lewiston should go back to its own jail system. And it might be an expense, but I think we could help out the Sheriff's Department. We have a lot of mill space. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Hello, John Horton, Ward 2. Most of you at this point have actually met with me to discuss the ordinance potential for the mobile home park rent cap. I'm here to again voice that this is a wrong thing to do. The sign coming in the city says certified business friendly. This is not a business friendly move. The mobile home parks that we've discussed, the claim is that they're making it unaffordable for people. I would make some simple comparisons. If you look at the average home in Lewiston, they pay at least as much property tax as their entire annually as the mobile home park people pay annually for their lot rent. So which one's more unaffordable? You know, it is the most affordable way of living. But if you're going to put a crimp on it, it's going to cause problems. You will not have affordable housing from mobile home parks because they will not expand. We may have not built a park new in quite a while, but some of the parks have expanded. But you won't get any expansion if this goes through. It just cripples them too much. If you want to make a comparison, think about the city. If you guys had to live by the exact same rules you're trying to enforce on the parks, CPI increase annually for the total cost of everything, you would find out you'd be crippled in no time. Add to that, as a business owner who all my money's tied up in this, not a single dime of anybody else's, what happens when I start going negative and I have to beg some board that's put together through the housing, and I'm not picking on the housing committee. They've been great. I've been to all their meetings to try and explain things to them. I have talked to many of you, and I appreciate your time. I've still got some follow-up with some of you, and I've got some I need to contact. But if you take and you make it so that I have to go beg to get things, and I have to show you more financials than I have to show at an IRS audit, what's wrong with that? Maybe you ought to come at it from a different direction, not trying to attack the owners and make them be in financial straits. Maybe you ought to look at it and say, what can we do? Because here's a perfect example. Every time I do a rent increase, I will have various people every single time that will cry they're going to have to move out or sell their trailer or whatever. And in 20 years of managing parks and owning parks, I've never had a single one do it, ever. Now, if you go the other direction, if you do have a tenant that truly has an issue, why don't they come to the city and prove they have an issue? Instead of me proving I'm going broke, them prove they have to, and then the city find a way to get them in a program someplace to cover their expenses. Go the other direction for the ones that are actually in trouble. Again, I do want to take the last second to thank each of the councilors I've met with, the ones I need to follow up with, the ones I'm going to talk to, and I do want to say, and I've said it publicly at the Housing Committee, those people have done a great job. Even though I hate this ordinance and I don't want it, they've done a good job.
Thank you. Further public comment?
Hi, I'm Nathan from Lewiston, Maine, and I recently came to the realization that our country has been capable of building skyscrapers since 1885 for 141 years now, yet we're allowing 800,000 plus citizens to suffer unhoused. And I don't think it's necessary to provide main care to citizens just to leave them high and dry, deteriorating their health outside, living in tents. And EBT food stamps, you can't really do much with no appliances or cookware. Thank you.
Further public comment? Public comment is now closed. Administrator Kainrath, I understand you have a administrator's report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, appreciate it. Starting off with the cart to curb transition, we have a few more public information sessions coming up tomorrow, Wednesday evening, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Geiger Elementary School, and also Wednesday, August 26th, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at McMahon Elementary School on North Temple Street. All members of the public are invited to come and have their questions answered and meet with city staff about the upcoming cart to curb initiative. A few staff updates and milestones I'd just like to announce. First, congratulations to our June Employee of the Month, Adam Hart. Adam has been a dedicated employee with the city since 2007, currently working as a water and sewer equipment operator. He was nominated for exemplifying teamwork and collaboration, leadership and initiative, reliability and consistency, as well as a positive attitude. Most notably, while operating an excavator on a recent job site, Adam recognized that something wasn't right and stopped digging. His quick thinking revealed an incorrectly marked gas line, potentially preventing a catastrophic accident. Beyond his exceptional work ethic, Adam is known for his fantastic sense of humor and his ability to make everyone around him laugh, and he's a valued team member both on and off the job. So congrats to Adam on his achievements, and we thank him for his work with the city. In our police department, Tyler Martin has celebrated 15 years of service with the department as of July 11th. In our fire department, Tim Barry and Luke Gervais have both reached 20 years of service this month with Lewiston Fire. Also, Corporal Matt Cashman at Lewiston PD will be retiring this year at the end of July after 30 years of service to the city. Thank you, Corporal, for all of your years of service. I'd also like to thank a number of city departments for their quick work with assisting the victims and displaced families of the Main Street fire, including our recreation department, our fire department, and our social services department. In particular, thank you for everyone for your work there, as well as our community partners, the Red Cross and others, for stepping up so quickly to help those displaced families. Thank you all. The Maine Resiliency Center, which we have engaged with to conduct a survey, is inviting the public to participate in the Community Impact and Resilience Survey, now open through July. The survey is designed to better understand how the events of October 25th have impacted individuals and the broader community over time, what has supported recovery, and what needs may still exist. So that survey is available. It's maineresiliencycenter.org/community survey. Please visit there for more information. A reminder, the Beyond the Badge event, the first Beyond the Badge event is coming up this Thursday, July 23rd at Samar and Payne Park, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please come down, bring your families, lots of great stuff there, and a great opportunity to engage with our police department, fire department, United Ambulance, Life Flight of Maine, and others. So we hope to see everyone this Thursday, July 23rd, again, 3 to 7 p.m. We have some reconstructed tennis courts. The Anita Murphy tennis courts look really great. They are now done. They are open for use. This $1.3 million project was a full reconstruction, including new under drains, gravel pavement, fencing, and lights. They've also been striped for both tennis and pickleball, so please check them out. It really looks great. The Lobster Bowl Classic, the 36th annual Main Shrine Lobster Bowl Classic, took place this past week at Lewiston High School. The West team defeated the East team 28-26 in an exciting game finish. The annual charity All-Star Game featured over 140 of the top graduating high school football players and cheerleaders from across the state. But this year also, Lewiston High School Athletic Director Jason Fuller was honored with the prestigious Mike Haley Award, which recognizes outstanding contributions to the Lobster Bowl. The event did raise $310,000 for Shriners Children's Hospital, so thank you to all involved and congratulations. Lastly, I just want to thank the No Name Pond Association, who hosted me last week out at the ponds to talk about the pond, the watershed, and some of the issues they're facing, and I appreciate the boat ride they gave me also. It's one of the more interesting and fun meetings I've had in a while, so thank you very much for all of your hospitality. So, thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Kinrath. We appreciate your service to our city. Madam Clerk, item number 1.
Item number 1, confirmation of Mayor Sheline's nomination to fill the current vacancy in the Ward 7 position on the school committee. Requested action to receive the mayor's nomination and to appoint Emily Lavasser to fill the vacant Ward 7 position on the Lewiston School Committee. Said appointment to be effective as of July 21st, 2026, with term ending January 4th, 2027.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor
Second.
Chittum, second by Councilor Harriman. I'll go first here. Emily joins us. Thank you so much. And has a special needs child who's in our school system. And right now, I don't believe we have a school committee member here present and one in the audience. Thank you both for serving. Right now, I don't believe that we have anyone on the school committee who currently has children in our school system. And so, I appreciate your willingness to serve. Questions, comments from the council? We're heading to public comment for this agenda item. Please step up to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Emily Lavasser. I am a resident of Ward 7. I'm a mother of 2 young neurodivergent children, the wife of a disabled Army veteran, and a proud member of Lewiston's Franco-American community, and a small business owner. My professional and educational background has centered around supporting children and families. I worked for 5 years as a behavioral health professional where I supported children with special needs and collaborated closely with their families, educators, and service providers. I also volunteered for 2 summers at a camp serving children with disabilities and have been a strong advocate for children with special needs and at-risk youth. I attended Unity College, where I studied psychology and adventure education, completing nearly all my degree requirements. I also plan to continue my education in the near future at the University of Southern Maine, where I intend to pursue a degree in behavioral and social sciences. As a parent of children in Lewiston Public Schools, I have developed a deep appreciation for the work our teachers, support staff, administrators, and community partners do every day. I am especially grateful for our district's commitment to serving students with disabilities, students from immigrant families, and children who may face social and economic barriers. I recognize that serving on the school committee requires listening, collaboration, thoughtful decision-making, and a willingness to continue learning. If appointed, I will work hard to represent the residents of Ward 7 while always keeping the best interests of all Lewiston students at the forefront of every decision. It is truly an honor to be considered for this. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve my community.
Further public comment?
Hi, my name is Sierra Pomelo. I am in Ward 7. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that it's an honor to support Emily Lavasser. I have had the privilege of knowing her for over 10 years. She's a very close friend of mine, and she is somebody who goes above and beyond. She's always looking to figure out the best way to help her community members. She's helped me, myself, my children. I've seen her go above and beyond when we were in Unity. I know a situation where I was involved. We have known each other since college, and she was there, my right-hand right-hand person, and she's amazing. She will be truly, truly great at this. And I appreciate you all taking the time and the energy to support her in this move. Thank you.
Further public comment? Back to the council. Yes, Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself with us. I really like that. I wish more people that were being appointed to committees would take the opportunity to share about themselves with the public. Thank you.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you. I'd like to second Councilor Longchamp. It's unusual that we have applicants for appointment address the council. It's very much appreciated, and I enjoyed learning a little bit more about you. Thank you.
Further questions, comments from the council? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Council from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Item number 2.
Item number 2, appointment of the financial institution representative to the Housing Committee. Requested action to receive the mayor's appointment and to confirm the appointment of Julia Bartlett to a 3-year term as the financial institution representative on the Housing Committee. Said appointment is filling a vacancy and the term will expire January 2nd, 2029.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Harriman.
Second.
Second by Councilor Chittum. I appreciate the council's consideration of Julia and happy to put her name forward. Questions, comments? Public comment? Back to the council. Councilor Longchamps?
Is Julia here?
Yes, she is here.
Thank you.
Not that the applicant needed to be here, but we appreciate you being here. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Council from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you. Thank you. Item number 3.
Item number 3, public hearing on an application for a new liquor license and special amusement permit for live entertainment for the Colisée, 190 Birch Street. Requested action to authorize the city clerk's office to approve a new liquor license application and special amusement permit for the Colisée, 190 Birch Street.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councilor Najin. Discussion? Councilor Chittum.
I have a question for Madam Clerk, exposing my ignorance here. Later on in the agenda, we're going to be asking the council to approve a request from the administrator to the state to issue a liquor license for an agent. Do we also issue agent licenses, or do we issue licenses only for on-premise consumption? And further, do on-premise consumption establishments receive a license from the state?
We do not license locally agency liquor stores because, as you noted, they're not consuming liquor on premise, so we don't license them as far as a business license.
Can you move the mic closer to
Sorry,
you?
they would certainly need to go through the code enforcement department regarding zoning and all of that, but as far as a business license, agency liquor stores are not licensed by the city. And then the second half is, yes, businesses that have liquor consumed on premises need a state liquor license as well as a city liquor license.
Thank you, ma'am.
Further questions, comments from the council? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Item number 4.
Item number 4, public hearing for approval of an outdoor entertainment permit for the Dempsey Challenge. Requested action to conduct a public hearing on an application for an outdoor entertainment event for the Dempsey Challenge and to grant a permit for an outdoor entertainment event as required by the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Article 1, Section 10-3, to the Dempsey Center for Outdoor Music Concerts for the Dempsey Challenge to be held at Samard Payne Park on September 13th through 22nd, contingent upon positive recommendations from the Police Department, Fire Department, Code, Health Officer, and Land Use Inspector regarding compliance with all regulations and compliance with all city ordinances.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
By Councilor Najin. Discussion? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Item number 5.
Item number 5, public hearing and final passage to establish the residential rental properties ordinance and moving the rental registration section into this new ordinance. Requested action that a new ordinance be created in the City Code of Ordinances designated as Chapter 23 entitled Residential Rental Properties, and that the proposed amendment to the Residential Rental Properties Ordinance to add the code language regarding the rental registration program receive final passage by a roll call vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councilor Martell. Discussion? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Council from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Item number 6.
Item number 6, public hearing and final passage to remove the rental registration section from the Buildings and Building Regulations Ordinance. Requested action that the proposed amendment to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 18, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 6, registration requirement for multifamily buildings regarding the removal of language pertaining to the rental registration program receive final passage by a roll call vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor Martell.
Second.
Second by Counselor Najin. Discussion? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Item number 7.
Item number 7, public hearing and final passage regarding an amendment to the Amusements and Entertainment Ordinance to eliminate the requirement for a public hearing for outdoor entertainment permits and to authorize city staff to issue these permits. Requested action that the proposed amendment to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Amusements and Entertainment, to remove the requirement for a public hearing for an outdoor entertainment permit and to authorize city staff to issue these permits receive final passage by a roll call vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor Najin, seconded by
Counselor Chittum.
Counselor Chittum. Yes, thank you. Sorry if I missed you, Counselor Martell. Public, or, nah.
All right.
Questions, comments from the council? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you very much. It's only 7:40 and it's already been a long night. Item number 8.
Item number 8, public hearing and final passage regarding an amendment to the business license ordinance to remove the list of city parks and refer to the Parks and Recreation Ordinance. Requested action that the proposed amendment to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 22, Businesses, Section 22-422, Definitions, to remove the list of city parks receive final passage by a roll call vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor
Second.
Chittum, second by Counselor Martell. Discussion? Public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Item number 9.
Item number 9, public hearing and final passage for an amendment to the Zoning and Land Use Code, Article 11, District Regulations for changes to the No-Name Pond Conservation Overlay District to require soil disturbance within buffers to follow Maine DEP requirements. Requested action that the proposed amendments to Appendix A of the Code of Ordinances, Zoning and Land Use Code, Article 11, District Regulations for changes to the No-Name Pond Conservation Overlay District to require disturbance within buffers to follow DEP requirements receive final passage by a roll call vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Counselor Najin. Director Connor, thank you for joining us. Please kick us off.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councilors. As you recall, this was the ordinance language change that the planning board recommended to the council. The council made some changes of their own, sent it back to the planning board. Planning board heard it, added it, and recommended it on a 7-0 vote back to you guys. And at the last meeting, you guys all voted for it 7-0. And this is the second reading of that same ordinance, and I couldn't have read it any better than Madam Clerk did.
Questions, comments from the council? Public comment for this agenda item.
Dan Bernier, Ward 6, Councilors and Mayor. I'm requesting clarification in the following discussion at the recent council meeting. To begin, I want to be clear that I support a strong, effective no-name pond ordinance. My concern is limited to ensuring that such an ordinance does not create or imply buildability for 18 Waters Edge Drive. My understanding, and I believe the record will reflect this, is that Mr. Connor stated proposed ordinance change was brought forward specifically for connection with the permit for 18 Waters Edge Drive, and that he further stated that change would not allow building on that lot. Based on the statement, it is my belief that BMP-related amendment does not alter setbacks, does not reduce the no-name pond overlay, does not change the buildability status of 18 Waters Edge Drive. At this time, I do not believe 18 Waters Edge Drive to be buildable. I respectfully request confirmation as to whether any updates, changes, or actions have occurred since that meeting that would affect the buildability of 18 Waters Edge Drive. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I understand you may not respond, but at least I've made that statement for the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will have staff respond as soon as public comment period is over. Further public comment. Public comment is now closed. Director Connor, do you mind addressing this gentleman's concerns?
So yes, excuse me, I believe the comment that's in reference was when Councilor Chittum asked if the current reading of the ordinance would prohibit the permit being issued, to which I said yes. And my understanding of the current ordinance language that we had. The addition of number 7, the language that Councilor Chittum proposed back to the planning board, would now make that lot buildable. So this ordinance, as it passes tonight, will make that lot buildable.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Do you, public comment is now over, but do you have, I will, since you're a resident here, I will allow you to, but can you just talk into the mic?
Yeah, so again, it was any use setbacks, so I'm completely withdrawn by this, because even the board that it went to believed this wasn't going to be buildable. There is 0 setbacks. There is stormwater there. The BMPs are only when you're actually acting on the property. This does not relegate this to some DEP setbacks. It didn't change anything. It said during the work, the best management practices will take place, period. There is no other change. I don't have anything else to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further questions, comments from the council? Anything further, Director Connor? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Ward 5 is absent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ward 6?
Yes.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Item number 10.
Item number 10, public hearing and first passage regarding amendments to the solid waste ordinance to define the automated side load trash collection program. Requested action that the proposed amendments to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 62, Solid Waste, to define the automated side load trash collection program receive first passage by a roll call vote, and to continue the public hearing to the next regularly scheduled City Council meeting.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Martell. If you can please introduce yourself, sir, and then kick us off.
I'm John Kuczynski, Environmental Services Superintendent, Public Works. The ordinance change is basically dealing with where the current ordinance talks about residents providing their own suitable containers. The city, through the contract, is now providing trash carts, so we're taking out suitable container language that talks about people providing their own carts, and we're substituting language where the contract is providing trash carts.
Thank you. Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I just had a question under the definitions, so it's section 62-11, under the definition of suitable container. It says that the weight of the waste placed in the container shall not exceed 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm just concerned, well, one, it seems like those containers can hold a lot more than 50 pounds. And I'm also concerned because we're limiting every household to 1 container now. So that means they'll only be limited to 50 pounds of trash or recycling each week.
Right.
Whereas, under the current system, you can put out as many containers as you want as long as the individual ones don't exceed, I think it's 30 pounds.
Open to changes that. I think there's certain limits to the amount that the truck can limit, but I think we used 50 was a guideline, but we can strike that if that's your desire. It's just within the limits of what the truck can lift.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I feel like it probably can lift more than 50 pounds plus the cart, and I was just surprised to see that it would be restricted to only 50 pounds in each cart.
Did we get that limit directly from Casella?
I don't recall. I'd have to check with them. I think we saw that somewhere and we put it in the ordinance, but we can double check that.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Najin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to verify, we do have about 100 streets where the cart to curb, or sorry, maybe it's not 100 streets, but there are certain streets where the trash is still going to be picked up manually, I believe.
Yes, some of basically the tree streets, the downtown area where
Right.
there's too many, the streets are narrow, a lot of parking on the street, a lot of multifamily unit buildings on those streets where it's impractical to do the automatic side loads.
So on those trucks that service those areas, will they have like a back load, like a
They have a little
table
car
up?
lifter, but, it's time consuming. They prefer just to empty the trash can into the truck directly.
No, I get that. Ultimately, we're paying a considerable amount of money for the new service, and while I understand that, Casella is providing the bins, we bought them. And so my point with I want to be able to, one, verify with Casella what their side load can carry, right? And I think that whatever number they come back with as an advisory number is probably higher than the 50 pounds. But I don't want to set an arbitrary number. I want to make sure that Casella is comfortable with it. And the second part is the downtown residential areas where we know those units will, the new trash containers will be fully used.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make sure that Casella is aware of the fact that, if they're going to limit it to a 50-pound dump because it's going to be physically done by a person, that's a recipe for disaster. So that backload piece, is something I've seen quite commonly. So I just want to point those two things out. And I know that we're working through these pieces, but thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Longchamps?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Harriman raised a good point, and it seems like it would be pretty easy for you to just strike that out. So that would just be my suggestion, that
Okay, we can,
you
yeah,
just
I
take it out.
Yeah, we just take that out.
Thank you.
Councilor Martell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is it that simple, though, that we can just strike out part of the contract that Casella?
It's your ordinance, yes, yeah. I think it's a number we came up with. I can't remember where that we came up with that, but I've been working on this for several months, so.
So that's only the city, that has nothing to do with the city's contract with Casella where this is
It's not
defined?
in the contract, it's just about
Okay,
what the truck can
excellent.
continue to
Okay,
lift, yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Councilor Roy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Doing a quick search here, it says the can itself is like 25 to 30 pounds, but when full, it holds 200 to 250 pounds.
Okay, all right,
So just want to make sure, we're kind of, up in that a little bit, maybe, because a lot of households are probably going to.
Might be a little bit heavier, yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Noble?
How are they going to know how much the trash weighs? That's what I want to
It was
know.
more,
Like,
I
are they
think-
weighing them, or? how
Oh,
does
it's just
that-
a matter of when the truck can't lift it, then it's too heavy.
Okay, so it could go up to 200 pounds, and as long as the truck could lift it, then nobody's going to get spoken to?
Councilor Chittum, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It sounds to me as though this may want to be tabled unless someone wants to make a formal amendment to alter the language, and it doesn't sound as though we're ready to put a number in there at this point.
I mean, the number's probably not that important. It's just, the important part of this ordinance change is the description of suitable containers to carts.
I beg to differ, sir. This is an ordinance, and the
Right.
language in the ordinance, as people who know me know, is important. I would make a motion to table this until we get an answer on that number, and I would like to also make two minor corrections to the ordinance.
Sure.
In section 62.6, there is a missing word, I believe. It talks about food processing plants, nursing homes, hospitals, et cetera. Establishment includes a commercial activity. I think the word "that" is missing there.
Okay, okay.
And finally, the second minor correction I have is a concern that in areas of automated waste collection, I'm talking about section, oh dear, that's a long section, 6213 on the final page in subsection F. In areas of automated waste collection, individual carts are to be placed 2 feet apart and kept a minimum of 5 feet from fixed objects. I understand that you don't want the carts next to each other, and I would suggest that you specify that the carts be placed at least 2 feet apart.
Okay.
The problem with 2 feet is if I've got to put it 5 feet from my mailbox and 2 feet from each cart, I've used up my entire driveway. And my option in the winter then is to shovel the big mound of snow that I've created by clearing out the windrow created by the plow at the end of the driveway. And I am not unique in this problem. Thank you.
I understand your idea was to table, Councillor Chin, but perhaps I have a path forward. So, this is the first reading, and we can pass this tonight. We can allow Public Works to find out what the number should be from Casella. And then when we come back for the second reading, we can plug the number in, which would not represent a substantial change. Would you agree with that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, okay. And then we can just pass it without needing to delay if councilors are amenable to that. Councilor Longchamps, yes.
Thank you. Why can't we just make a friendly amendment to the word "that" and the distance of the trash cans and put a limit of 250 pounds?
Sure.
To me, then we just move forward. We don't delay this. Can we do that?
Sure.
Possibly?
Yeah, but you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, we can plug in whatever number now, but this number is, hopefully going to be provided to us by Casella. I mean, we can plug in a number now.
250 from Casella at the next reading.
Yeah, and if it needs to change the next meeting, that's fine. Madam Clerk, did you get all that?
I did. So we're changing the number 50 to 250 and then inserting the word "that" in section 62-6 and then doing at least 2 feet in 62-13.
Correct.
Could we do this as a friendly amendment, Madam Clerk?
I would suggest not because you're removing some proposed language that's going to be inserted.
Understood.
So I think a formal motion would be better. Thank you, sir.
Do we have a second for this amendment?
Second.
Councilor Martell seconded. Can we please vote on this amendment? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Sure. Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
We're now heading to public comment for this agenda item. Back to the council. Anything further?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you very much. Item number 11.
11, item number 11, order approving the letter of intent with Echo Hospitality Consultants. Requested action to adopt the order approving the letter of intent with Echo Hospitality Consultants.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilor Chisholm, followed by Councilor Martell. Director, thanks for joining us. Chris, thanks for joining us. If you can both introduce yourselves and then kick us off, and we'll go from there.
Sure. John Blaze, Acting Director of Economic and Community Development.
Chris Thompson, Eco Hospitality Consultants. Thank you for having me tonight.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Thank you for inviting us back this evening to provide an update for the proposal letter of intent for the Red Shop and the broader Riverfront Hospitality Development Initiative. We appreciate the thoughtful discussion that has taken place over the past several weeks and the opportunity to continue refining this proposal based on council feedback and community input. Included in the packets are the updated LOI, Exhibits A and B, which is the parking agreement and the special events policy. Since the letter of intent was first introduced in May, city staff and Eco Hospitality consultants have continued working together to clarify terms, address concerns raised by council and the public, and to improve the overall framework of the proposed partnership. The document before you tonight remains a non-binding letter of intent intended to establish a roadmap for negotiating a joint development agreement should the council choose to proceed. A few more important revisions have been incorporated into the updated draft. Added flexibility to the Red Shop disposition, so either a sale or a long-term lease, and then providing council additional flexibility as discussions continue. So we'll be back for another hearing for that. Community use considerations. The letter of intent now includes a commitment to engage the community regarding the future of the Red Shop, access and programming, with findings and incorporation into the final lease or purchase documents where practical. This is our community conversations piece that we brought up last meeting. Project sequencing. If the additional time is needed to determine the future of the Red Shop, negotiations for the hotel expansion, tax increment financing agreement, and other redevelopment components may continue independently, so the broader economic development opportunities are not delayed. So we can sequence this with really the hotel being the primary project, with a TIF going to DECD with a TIF, and then having the public hearing for that. So that would be our first step. Our concert and event programming, the document further clarifies the city retains approval authority over programming outside of the nationally touring concerts. Again, that's going to be incrementally rolled out over a bunch of years. That I think that, again, we will be back to council on that to kind of lay out what the progression of that might look like. So, and then we'll be refining things like like an aerial for site plan of where infrastructure is going to go, what we've built to date, what we plan on building. What does the total build out look like at that point? So again, another public hearing at that point. More importantly, the core economic development vision has not changed. The proposal continues to contemplate the renovation and the activation of the Red Shop, expansion of the existing Hampton Inn or construction of a second hotel, completion of a long-standing commitments related to 39 Lincoln Street parcel, negotiation of a 30-year credit enhancement agreement at TIF district, and then continued investment in Semaine Payne Memorial Park as a regional destination for recreation, tourism, entertainment, and economic activity. Tonight's discussion is not a request to approve a sale or a lease of the Red Shop. Rather, is an opportunity for the council to review the updated letter of intent, provide policy direction, and determine whether staff should continue negotiating the detailed joint development agreement and related documents that will return to the council for future public review and approval. We appreciate your continued guidance and process, and look forward to answering questions. And Chris, if you want to add anything, you're more than welcome.
Just want to say that following up on our meeting together a couple weeks ago, and reflecting on the. Let me.
We're not sure what that noise is, but the ceiling is still hasn't started falling yet. So please continue.
Appreciate the opportunity to refine the letter of intent so that hopefully addresses the questions that were outstanding last time, and happy to answer any that remain open.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't want to keep you here too long. Thank you for coming back.
Pleasure.
I wish this would have been passed the first time, but we're here again, so thank you. Is this on? Yep.
Just move it closer to you, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Basically, that was it. I think it's a great project. I hope there's no doubt with all of the council sitting here so that we can move this forward. And I do apologize that you have to do this in sections, but I think we'll get there. Thank you.
Councilor Noble.
I just wanted to ask, I know you said about community involvement, and I just wanted to know if there were going to be any workarounds for the people who are already in the Red Shop using it for the boats. Is that something that you're looking at still kind of not necessarily accommodating, but at least listening to them?
Absolutely. Okay. I read Amy Smith's letter that came in, I think today. She CC'd me on that, which I was grateful for. We have indicated and had indicated years ago, we talked about our involvement in the Red Shop with Amy a long while back, and indicated that we were then and have been open to having, you know, a collaborative relationship with the rowing group. And the list of uses that she outlined, other than the rowing specific ones, which again, we remain open to, you know, to considering how we can work with them. Substantially all of those other uses were ones that we presented to the council when we met in executive session several, you know, sessions ago. So those all remain consistent with what we're intending to do. So substantially all of the articulated goals for community collaboration are ones that we also share specifically in our plan for that building.
Thank you.
Councilor Martell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for being here and coming back. I really appreciate your investment in the community. I think that we're really lucky to get a project like this. I think many municipalities would be thrilled to get a project like this. My quick concern, and this doesn't necessarily have to be anything that gets an amendment scratched off. I know this is a work in progress, but I actually have a little bit of concern around the community engagement clause that's in there. And I would just like to point out that anyone in the community that has a desire to have input on this is all represented by a counselor up here. They also have access to public comment, so I have a little bit of concern codifying into the agreement that there's going to be some formal seat at the table or something. There's a process by which to address one's concerns, and you know, this is a council decision, and I just think that we need to be careful. I don't want to disengage from the community, and I think that you have a wonderful approach. I just would urge a little bit of caution around formally codifying maybe a voice or a vote or something along those lines. So that's all I've got. Thank you.
Councilor Najin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to state that I'm greatly appreciative of the rewritten letter of intent, that Eco Hospitality Consultants is not a new developer to this community, has shown a long-standing commitment to both Lewiston and to projects that he's worked on within the state. And I appreciate the collaborative approach and that in the very humble some developers would be very upset from the first process, and I apologize for that. I'm glad you're back at the table, and it speaks to your care for this community and your care for projects that will work. And so, thank you.
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank you for promptly addressing the concerns in the previous letter and adding the community input section of it. Greatly appreciate the quick turnaround. So thanks.
Thank you.
We're now adding public comment for this agenda item.
Matthew Egrin, Ward 4. I'm glad to see this back before us, and I'm glad to see the language has been cleaned up so that it doesn't indicate that you have sole control of the park. Part of the reason that it was rejected was bad language. This is a project where, yes, we're looking forward to. Yes, I'd love to see nationally events here in Lewiston instead of having to travel to Portland or Bangor. But we had to get the proper language done first. And I'm glad you came back with it. Thank you.
Further public comment? Public comment is now closed. Back to you, Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I just wanted to read public comment from a constituent. This is the letter from Amy Smith that we all received. She wanted to be here tonight to read this publicly, so I'll just read it real quick here. Dear Mayor, City Council, City Administration, City Staff, and City Planning Board, Lewiston Rowing is encouraged by the revised letter of intent and is standing by to collaborate on this exciting and significant new investment into the riverfront project. The revised letter of intent has two important improvements: recognition that this project could proceed through a long-term lease, and a commitment to authentic community engagement and benefit. The possibility of a long-term lease is significant because it means the council no longer faces an all-or-nothing decision. The project can move forward while preserving public ownership during a thoughtful deliberation period where the city and residents determine whether a long-term ground lease can accomplish the same economic and community development goals. Lewiston Rowing supports continuing negotiations and encourages the City of Lewiston to fully evaluate a long-term ground lease as the city's preferred ownership and stewardship structure unless it can be demonstrated that an outright sale provides a materially greater public benefit. The commitment to authentic community engagement is critical, as this public asset is truly a diamond in the rough, whose potential is unfamiliar to most Lewiston residents. Lewiston Rowing's modest outreach to 100-plus residents via surveys and a visioning session has already built excitement and support for uses that would fully activate this underutilized section of Simard Payne Park, including, and I'll summarize a little bit here, water-focused camps, classes and activities, youth summer camps, senior outings, winter activities, indoor farmers market and seasonal craft markets, private parties, concerts, movie nights, team building retreats, headquarters for organizations using the park, yoga, indoor rowing, and other health and recreation programs, and community pop-up events. We appreciate the one-year lease granted by the city, which allowed us to conduct this outreach, and are ready to leverage the momentum and continue this work in collaboration with the city, the developer, and our residents. Sincerely, Amy Smith, Executive Director, Lewiston Rowing.
Councilor Martel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes. So if we're going to read emails into the record, I don't have mine with me, but I do want to state, I think it's important to bring this up. More than one of my constituents and some residents outside of my ward reached out to me and expressed that Amy Smith on our planning board that has a vested interest in that red shop may have a conflict of interest. I tried to reach out to her privately. She did respond. I did not get what I believe was a satisfactory response that did not answer my question. And a lot of the language in that letter is exactly what I was saying, gives me pause about formally codifying what seems to be, this is, you are bringing millions and millions of dollars of investment into this community. And while I appreciate your willingness to be cooperative and collaborative, you should not be handcuffed by the previous renter. And that's just my position, and I think those concerns are valid and might warrant being looked into. That's all.
Councilor Roy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank you for being a good community partner. I mean, it shows a lot of good faith on your part to include a lot of people in this community. Because without these people in the community, we don't have a community, right? And it goes, like, to me, I take that really to heart, because I think more people should be genuine in their approach, and that shows that you are. So thank you.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate the improved language in the letter of intent. I very much want to see this project go forward, and any hesitation I had previously was to process, not to project, and I want that to be clearly understood. I'm hoping tonight that the council will unanimously endorse this letter of intent with the full understanding that it commits the city and you to nothing. It simply is an indication that we wish to move forward on this project, which I believe we all do.
Further comments, questions from the council? Anything further? Yes.
I would just say I appreciate all of that, and nobody has to thank me for coming back. I grew up in Lewiston, Auburn. That's what we do. We make a plan and we go get it done, and that's what we would like to do. Thank you all.
Sometimes development projects require a little bit of tenacity, so we appreciate that in you. I'm really excited about this. This is we're hitting go on big plans for the park. So thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Absolutely yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
And yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you both.
Thank you all.
Item number 12.
Item number 12, order authorizing the city administrator to execute an option agreement with Bates Mill LLC for Bates Mill number 5. Requested action to approve the order authorizing the city administrator to execute an option agreement with Bates Mill LLC for Bates Mill number 5.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councilor Najin. We're pulling up chairs here. If I can have the three of you introduce yourselves. Thank you all for being here, and please introduce yourselves and then kick us off, Director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. John Blaze, Economic and Community Development, City of Lewiston.
Tom Platts of Bates Mill LLC.
Doreen Sauls, Bates Mill LLC.
Did you want to cover any of the slides, or do you want to just go through the?
I think we can. I think they've certainly seen them. Are they all loaded, or are they?
We do have we do have a slide presentation loaded. It's relatively lengthy, but it was something that was covered in executive session. We could go through this, but if not, we'll go through the basically the gist of the option agreement, and then yes, Councilor.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we have slides, we're here now, so yeah, let's pull them up. I think Kurt is, yeah, there we go.
Start from the beginning at the top. You have to click on slideshow at the top. It says on the red bar, it says slideshow, and then start from the beginning and up on the red bar. And then click from the beginning. Yeah, and now when you click the mouse, it'll.
Is that good enough? You want
Yeah,
to
sure.
slide it?
I can click. No, I can look at it over there. That's all right. Let me just see this. Thank you for having us here tonight. The slideshow is really kind of a brief look at mill number 5 and the history of what we've done in the mills so far, and we can talk a little bit about what we hope to do in the future. That's mill number 5 you were looking at. That was rendered what it would look like in the future. This map shows mill number 5 in an aerial view and its context within the full mill complex. Mill number 5 is 360,000 square feet on 2 floors. It was the second post-tensioned concrete building in the United States, so it has historical significance, designed by Kahn in 1912. This is a Google Earth of the same shot, just giving you an idea of where it is in proximity to everything else. This is giving you an idea of its size in terms of the other mills and in terms of the space on Lisbon Street. I think you'll find, Lisbon Street we have, this is 1/3 of the size of all the space available on Lisbon Street. It's a massive building and an undertaking to fill. I mean, clearly we've been working on it for years, though we've been having more luck putting people in the smaller portions of the mill because you can't really start the development of this mill until you have at least 180,000 square feet spoken for. You couldn't start a renovation with 10,000 square feet spoken for. This is probably anywhere, depending on the tenants, from $120 to $250 million project. So we need a certain amount of mass, and we are talking to 2 potential tenants right now that would add up to 180,000 square feet. We clearly have to continue on that path. Oops, not switching now. There we go. Just a little history on the mill. It was started in 1912, finished in 1914. The mill was built entirely by hand. They excavated this 4-acre site with shovels and mules, something I don't think we could quite do today in the same time frame with all the equipment we have. This is a picture of the mill today on the 2nd floor, showing the sawtooth roof, the concrete structure, and we've done 2 structural analyses of this building in the last 15 years, and it's still very usable. It still does need some reinforcement, but not substantial. This is one of the earlier floor plans we developed for multiple tenants on the first floor. And I believe the next one shows the second floor. On the second floor, you'll notice that kind of spine going down almost through the middle of the building. That would come off of the top deck of the parking garage. It would be almost like an interior urban street. The spacing on those columns is 30 feet, so we'd have a 30-foot roadway almost. Not that you could drive on it, but a walking pedestrian road. It would take you through the building, across the canal, and then you'd come up onto Lisbon Street right by Rainbow Bike. So we can kind of join the lower part of our development with Lisbon Street. This is just going to show you some of the work that we've already done within the complex. These are renderings for tenants we were talking to with the Bates Mill for office space. This shows that same picture I showed you of the sawtooth roof with the glass put back in. This would be a historic project, so we would restore it, not change it at all. At one point, I don't remember, I think some of you would certainly remember, we were working with the hospital, CMMC, to combine with the Y and create a wellness center there. A lot of things happened at the hospital, so that changed quickly. Other rendering showing from a different angle the second floor of Mill 5 with all the windows replaced the way they would be. And this was still part of that wellness project. I'll kind of go through these quickly. These are all examples of what we were working on when we were working with the hospital. And some of these things are still possible if we get the large companies we're talking to. We'll want some of this stuff in the mill. I don't know if you've been in 5. Or it's when you walk through it, it's an amazing space. And this is that kind of pedestrian way that would take you right through the mill. What we would hope is that the large tenants would be well behind this, and then on this kind of roadway would be coffee shops and other places to shop, drugstore, but places that would serve people. Let's see. Just an example of what we have done in the mill so far. This is Bates Mill number 7, back probably in 2000 or 99, before we really started on it. Mill number 8 was connected to this mill, renovated for TD Bank. Since then, as you all know, it's been completely gutted again and is now the police station. Bank. This is after Mill 2, I think it was called 2A, was removed because the roof caved in. It had been left for so long, and there was so much water on there that the thing fell down, basically. So it was removed, and then that mill was refaced to look like this today. This is Mill 2 Wing and Storehouse, where Da Vinci's is, Hebert Construction, Cross Insurance. And this is the way it was when we first took it over. It's completely renovated and occupied, and today looks like this. I'm showing you these pictures so you get a sense that we have been doing a lot when we're down there. I mean, there's over $200 million invested in this mill at this point. And granted, it's not all in Mill 5 yet, but this is a process, and we're definitely getting there. This is Mill 6 when we got there, and this is Mill 6 today. It's quite an undertaking to convert these mills, and in today's climate, unfortunately, since COVID, it's more difficult to find large tenants. We're really kind of revamping all of our thoughts. Getting 100,000 square foot tenants is really difficult now. It used to be really common. You get, insurance companies, big call centers. Not anymore. They all work from home. So you're really now looking at people from 5,000 to maybe 25,000, and we feel real lucky that we're talking with 2 big tenants right now. Hopefully we can get them to hop aboard. That was the pub before it was built. This is fully restored. And when we do this, we really pay attention to the detail to restore the historic components. Every table, every piece of wood in there is reused from the mill. There's no new lumber in there. This is looking at Mill 3 down Mill Street. It actually has Mill 4 still attached, which was taken down because of its contamination. It was the dye plant. Had a couple of railroad cars in the basement filled with acid. It was beyond us saving, so it was taken down. But that's what's there today. This was the demolition of 4. And that is where, whoops, I don't know how to back up here, but, well, that was the, oh, good, all right. So where the tanks are and this entry to the pub is where 4 was. It went from that building over to the canal. So we've made good use of the space and created a lot of public spaces, for people to walk. We've created a lot of artwork. This is Mill 1, 3rd floor, probably? Yeah, 3rd floor, Mill 1, undeveloped at this point. These have been cleaned and they're ready for tenant improvement. They were nothing like this when we found them. There was a lot of remediation that had to be done to get them this clean. This is Mill 6, the upper floor, which is fully occupied by Androscoggin Bank now. This is the entry atrium between Mills 1 and 2, which is used for public events, and nonprofits use it a lot for meetings. Bates College uses it for their board dinners. So it's kind of a public, we've made a public space out of it. And this is Mill 2 storehouse, which is where Cross, Hebert, and Da Vinci's are. And that has 1 empty floor now since Community Health Options moved out, and they all went home. Probably all familiar with the bar at Da Vinci's, I hope. This is an interior shot of where Included Health, or it started out as Grand Rounds, was. They're all working from home now. That was a major loss during COVID. Northeast Bank is in 17,000 square feet in Mill 2. And this is that Grand Round space. As we develop, we've been developing pathways and artwork. This is the Charlie Hewitt sculpture, the Rattle, that's on Mill Street now. This is a Reggie Burrow Hodges now that were created in the mill and is now in the new museum. This is the Muhammad Ali sculpture, which I'm sure you're all familiar with now. A mural at the north lobby of Mill number 1. This is on one of our other buildings, Chestnut and Canal, a mural. So we've been trying to pay a lot of attention to not just the buildings, but the surroundings and what can draw people to walk through Lewiston, around the mills, around to the waterfront. This is Andy Rosen's Foxes. He has a couple of these on 2 different buildings. You're all familiar with Charlie Hewitt's Hopeful sign. This is Andy Rosen's bear that he created for the walkway that we put between Mill 3 and Mill 1. And just a little kind of background on us. I mean, we've been doing things in Lewiston, Auburn for the last 47 years. We've done a number of your parking garages. We've done numerous buildings in town for nonprofits, profits, banks. This Chamber of Commerce building, we renovated that. We did the Seaport building across from the hospital. And this is the Main Mill Museum that just opened. We did the Colisée, I can't remember how many years ago, a long time ago. This is Goverill Place. We've done a fair amount of housing. We actually have 144 units on East Avenue that we've designed, and well, there was a groundbreaking there just the other day. The Hartley Block on Lisbon Street is a project of ours that we designed. This is the Martell School that the groundbreaking was for just the other day. Maine Public Broadcasting, we did 30 years ago, which I understand is up for sale now. Safe Voices was a project we finished just a couple of years ago on Lisbon Street. And this is just a list of other projects. I think what I wanted to make sure you understood is we're very committed to this town. And taking on Mill 5, as long as it's taken, and believe me, we put a lot of time in on it. It's not standing empty just because we've been ignoring it. And I think, like I say, we're talking to a couple of people that I'm probably as hopeful as I've been in the time we've been trying to get this building full. So we'd like to continue on the same path and hope that you would have us and have us for another 5 years, and hopefully we can get this thing done. I think that's probably the last slide. Sunset in Lewiston.
Thank you, Tom.
I should have a question up there, but
Question.
We're going to take questions later.
I just wanted to cover a couple of things in the option agreement. As Tom said, that the Bates Mill number 5, the purchase price is $1 with the option remaining in effect through June 30th, 2031. So it's a 5-year basically agreement that, we're going to try to, lure some folks here to Lewiston and develop this awesome structure. During the option period, the developer has the exclusive right to evaluate and advance redevelopment opportunities while conducting due diligence, conceptual planning, tenant outreach, financing efforts. Financial stack is going to be really important for this project to go. Opportunity zone, Tom, we're working towards that, so we're hoping that we can utilize the opportunity zone here in the city in a market analysis. If the option is exercised, closing is going to happen quick within 60 business days, and the property is conveyed by a quitclaim deed with a marketable title. The agreement also addresses customary provisions, included taxes, legal fees, title review, dispute resolution through arbitration, and the property transfer as is condition. What we added to this, and this was part of the executive session, we want to create a collaborative redevelopment framework between our department and the developer. So we look forward to that, rather than having strict performance deadlines. I'll be the first to say the developments that I've done have not been to this scale per se, but I've done quite a few. But I'm hoping to learn from Tom. I look at this as a educational piece for me. So redevelopment timing is influenced by market condition, availability, construction costs, labor, tenant demand, all this stuff. This is what's going to make the project go or no go. We understand that being nimble is going to be very important for this project. we need to know when to strike when the iron is hot. The first principal that I worked in, I didn't work in an architecture firm, sorry, Tom, or engineering firm, but he always used to say, strike when the iron's hot. So we're going to be ready if council hits the go button for 5 more years. We're going to strike when the iron's hot. So I'll just leave it like that.
Anything further, Tom or Doreen?
No, we're here to answer any questions you might have.
All right, I really appreciate you being here. I also want to note for the record that we have Gabrielle Russell here, so thank you. And we were here 5 years ago, right? Yeah. So that was before I was mayor, and I stood up there and advocated during public comment that we should continue with the option with Platts Associates. And now I'm mayor, and I still feel the same way. I understand it's taken a long time, but there's no competing offer for this building in terms of space. And people also don't realize that it will cost an enormous amount of money just to tear it down for abatement. And if there's anything, if there's anyone that can do this, it's you. So I appreciate you being back here again. And yes, hopefully we're getting close. Councilor Longchaps.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I know this answer, but I just wanted to ask the question. So mill 1, 2.
Can you just move the mic in front of you? Thank you.
Mill numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. You own those?
We don't own 3. That was owned by Bill Johnson, who was at a company out of Portland. It went empty because of TD North. Actually, I think it's Bar Harbor Savings owns it now. I think, yeah, Bar Harbor Savings took it over. They put it up for auction. I think it was valued. Oh no, they're holding a $11 or $12 million loan on it. They offered to sell it for $8 million, and they got no bids. So that's the problem today with large spaces. I mean, you really got to work these things to get them full. I mean, it's just hard.
So 3 you don't own?
No.
Okay.
That's the only one.
These mills mean a lot to Mainers, especially people that are from Lewiston. It employed thousands of people, right?
Yeah,
So I'm grateful every time I drive by, with the exception of 5, but that takes time to see people coming in and out and to see the beautiful work that you've done. I wouldn't say that we don't have anyone else coming to put an offer on that. I don't really think there's anyone else that could do such a great job on that, and that's just the reality. So I'm definitely in support of this. I have been. I do hope that you can get a tenant in there, or at least someone committed in the next year or 2, and you can start all your great work. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you. Platts Associates, Mr. Platts, it's fair to say that Lewiston would look very different today were it not for you. And I'm very grateful for that. You've invested a half a century in this community, and that speaks volumes to your dedication and your ability to get things done. Mill 5 has been a challenge. It's been a white elephant, an albatross, pick your animal. It's a whale maybe. But I have no doubt that if this project is to be done, it would best be done under your capable leadership, and I'm fully in support of it. So this is merely a thank you for all of the dedication that you and your firm have put into the community.
Oh, thank you.
Councilor Roy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everything that you've done so far up to this point. I don't know anybody who would take that on as you have, to be honest with you. I do have a couple of ideas. I've talked to some constituents and all that stuff to see what kind of ideas generated. And I've got a few that I'd really like to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
They're far out there, but if you have some vision, like I know you do,
anything's worth talking about.
You might take them into consideration.
All right. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
We're now heading to public comment for this agenda item.
Hello, Elizabeth Eames, Ward 3. I very much appreciate all the work that you've done and the edifices you've created are wonderful, but there's no human side of how to walk from Simard Payne Park up to here. And I live right around here, and it's very frustrating to not be able to get from one part of the town to the other without zigzagging maximally. So when you do this, please think of the humans and the pedestrians. Thank you.
Further, yes. Yeah, please step right up.
Matt Roy, Ward 6. See, next year would be, well, as a former city councilor for Ward 7 said, well, many times he said this in the last 20 years, we've been kicking this can down the road since 2007. If Mr. Platts finally gets something done, by the time 2031 gets around here, he would have worked on this as long as Da Vinci has currently been in their space. As Councilor Nugent has pointed out about the re-eval process, kicking the can down the road continuously every 5 years gets you nothing. And to the point that Mayor made, 2007, we could have torn this down, started over, because since COVID, businesses aren't using physical offices. As a former employee of TD Bank, I know this more than most. Thank you.
Good evening, Christine Holden, Ward 1. I've had the great privilege many, many years ago of being in Mill 5, sometimes as it was related to Museum LA, the original location, and sometimes in my work as one of the members of Grow LA, an organization which developed out of the many, many people who fought really hard to keep Mill 5 alive many, many years ago. It's an ambitious and, to some people, probably daunting task. But I think what Mr. Platts and his firm and all their associates have proved is that they are willing to take it on and capable of doing it. When Grow LA was looking into options for that building, we tried to entice groups like maybe Trader Joe's to come, or Bates College to consider having housing in the mill. But we always considered the idea of some sort of market roadway that you could walk through the building and go off on either side of that kind of spine. I was glad to see that there. And following up on what Elizabeth Ames just said, one of the advantages of that kind of spine route would be to provide access from Lisbon Street all the way down to Lincoln Street. I hope that is something that could be considered. But again, as somebody who wouldn't have more than, comparatively speaking, a nickel to put into this project, I applaud the fact that Mr. Platts and others are looking of ways to do that, and maybe he might even find an ally in Mr. Thompson. Thank you.
Further public comment?
Well, after that, I don't think I can not say a couple words. Chris Thompson was at the table just before Mr. Platts. I just want to say from my personal perspective, what Tom and his group have done in Lewiston is transformative, and I have the utmost respect for what they do, how they do it, and their ability to stay committed and engaged and make such ambitious, complex projects happen. So from my perspective, Bates Mill number 5 is an extraordinary building, and would be a great shame to see that torn down. It would be amazing to give it as much time as it needs for new life to be breathed back into it, and he can certainly do it.
Further public comment? Yeah, thank you. Okay, public comment is now closed. Thank you to everyone who spoke. Part of what makes Lewiston so special is its architecture. And Lewiston has retained many of its historic structures and repurposed them. Bates Mill 5 is such an iconic structure, and there's nothing else like it in our state. And when people say it's taking too long, my response is always the same. Whenever we get it filled and completed and restored, whenever that happens to be, we will know then that it was worth all this wait. So we need to hit the gas, but I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you. Further comments from the council? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from
Or, well, sorry, anything further from our presenters? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2? Yes. Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
And yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you.
Item number 13.
Item 13, order to rescind City Council Vote 12-2026 taken at the meeting of January 5th, 2026, which was for the election of the City Council President for 2026. Requested action, be it ordered by the City Council that the City Council hereby rescinds City Council Vote 12-2026 taken at the meeting of January 5th, 2026, for which the election of the City Council President for the year 2026.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilor Martell, second by Councilor Harriman. Councilor Martell.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My comments are gonna be a little different tonight than I originally had planned them to be. I received email from a very prominent, very influential business owner in our community this week that I appreciate very much. Lewiston, just like the two presenters we just saw here, wouldn't look the same without them. So when those words came through, almost insinuating to me that this was a personal vendetta, I believe I was asked what I was out to prove. So while my reasons for bringing this forward were numerous and valid, I just want to point out that it was a democratic process on this council that elected Councilor Chittum into this role, and it will be a democratic process if he is removed. It will not be a crusade of the Ward 7 councilor against a council president. So for those reasons, I am not going to enumerate those reasons that I had planned to present, and I will defer to my colleagues on the dais, and if I have any burning questions left, I will put my hand back up after public comment. Thank you.
Councilor Noble.
So I do want to address what has been going on. I feel that what you, Mayor Sheline, and what David did, Councilor Chittum did, was an insult to the council's intelligence. It was a breach of trust. It was a breakdown of our government system. And it was an unapproved use of taxpayer money. And I don't think that the two of you really understand those 5 things, and how much they do affect the city and how much they affect the council. We should all be working together, and there have been decisions up here that have been made that I haven't agreed with, that Councilor Martell pointed out that he didn't agree with, which the ICE ordinance was huge. This is a democratic process, and we all get a vote, and nobody's vote means more than anybody else's vote up here. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I would just add that I was the other vote against the the decision that brought this whole thing about, the decision of the council to defund the economic development director position. I was opposed to that decision. If we had the same vote again today, I would make the same decision, but I respect the process, and I respect that 5 of my colleagues had a different opinion, and I didn't try to go around and find a way to make that happen behind the scenes. And I think that is the real thing that has broken some trust on this body and has brought us to this point tonight.
Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to point out how much I have appreciated Councilor President Chittum. He's very intelligent, very thorough, is a good man, in my opinion. But I will say that I think, in my observation and in my opinion, our council president is used to working by himself. And when you're doing this type of work, you really have to work together. Not everybody will agree. That would be really one of the only downfalls that I have, that I would bring forth about Councilor Chittum. There's a lot of positives, and I don't want that to go unnoticed, but I do think, as I used to tell my kids, you know, there is no I in team. And I just feel as though you've left that out a few times. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Councilor Najin, did you want to say something before I recognize Councilor Chittum?
I can wait.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to apologize to my fellow councilors for misleading you 2 weeks ago. I was caught completely unawares. The vehemence with which my actions were denounced really surprised me. I was not eloquent enough then to explain to the council that nothing I was doing was double dealing, I think it was referred to earlier. I certainly don't understand how it could be considered arrogance. I was doing what I thought was my homework in order to provide the council with a second chance to render its decision. The decision made in May to eliminate the position of Economic Development Director was made under duress. All of us felt the time and monetary pressure of trying to balance the budget, trying to bring the budget in within the target that we had established. There was an 11th hour decision to remove what this council has consistently said is one of the most important positions in the city, that of economic development. It has been our priority, that with public safety, since I've been on the council. My efforts behind the scenes were to try to line up the funding that would provide to the council a second opportunity. I alluded to moving heaven and earth, looking at the rules and looking at the charter, and I think that was misinterpreted. I certainly did not express it clearly myself, but it was misinterpreted by some members of this council as my trying to find a way to weasel through and undermine or overturn the council's decision. Those who know me know that nothing could be further from the truth. I was simply trying to do my homework and bring back to the council, without the pressure of time and money, the decision. And if the decision then had been, yes, we do want to eliminate Economic Development Director, that would have been it. I felt that the council really had very little choice at the 11th hour after half an hour's of discussion. So my intent was always to bring this back to council. I do tend to work alone, but there was never any double dealing or duplicity on my part. I did not occupy staff time. I don't know how city finances could have been used. I don't understand that. Councilor Noble alluded to that. I did have discussions with the city administrator. I did not speak with department heads. I did everything, in my view, completely above board. So I apologize for not making that very clear 2 weeks ago when I was lambasted for what I think was a misinterpretation. I did write a letter to an email to my fellow councilors the day after I realized what had elicited that kind of vehement denunciation, that it was a misunderstanding. And I explained in that email that my goal had always been to bring this matter back to the council for due deliberation. There were problems that I ran into in terms of legal interpretation of the council rules. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train. Our city attorney has indicated that there is really only one way to reconsider an item, despite the fact that Robert's rules spell out several ways to do that. The city charter specifies that once the budget has been approved, it cannot be reconsidered, although the attorney did indicate that the council can always reconsider. Finally, the charter refers to mechanisms by which the budget can be amended after the beginning of the year. When I realized that there were legal impediments to bringing the question back to council before the beginning of the fiscal year, I concentrated my efforts on bringing this question back to council after the start of the year. So I apologize for not making my position clearer. I understand fully the anger and the disappointment that was expressed by some members of council. I would have been in that position too, and expressing that anger had I fully understood that another councilor had done what I was accused of doing. So I would very much like to continue being your president. I understand that the council has the authority to remove the president for reason or for no reason. It is the council's, my colleagues' decisions to do that. So I ask for your forgiveness in my lack of clear communication 2 weeks ago. I ask that you understand that in no way was I ever trying to undermine the council. I was simply trying to find a way for the council to revisit this question and make a decision without the duress of time and money. Thank you.
Councillor Longchamps, and then Councillor Noble, and then Councillor Najin.
First, I'd like to thank you, Councillor Chittum, for acknowledging that the way this looked. Second, I would just like to say, when you seek advice from our legal, they usually cost the city money. I think that's what Councillor Noble was referring to. This is the conversation we should have had about putting the director back in up here, or with more than just yourself and the mayor. Although you're getting a lot of the flack tonight, our mayor was a part of that and has not really taken any, you're kind of getting all the heat for it, and I'm sorry. I know that the both of you were working on that, which shouldn't have happened. Just plain and simple. It shouldn't have happened. You should have communicated with more of us, and quite honestly, in a public setting. For every action, there's a reaction, and unfortunately, removing you may be it tonight. So, but I thank you for your time that you did serve. Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Noble.
I was referring to the amount of money it costs for the hourly rate for our city lawyer, as when I was referring to the money. And I also have a question about, so are you saying that you didn't come to us because legally you couldn't come to us?
Yeah, Councillor Chittum, if you'd like to answer that.
Thank you. No, I did not say that. I didn't say I was prevented, legally stopped from coming to you. I do want to clarify that I did not consult directly with our city attorney. The opinion I'm referring to was in a letter addressed to the city administrator.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Councillor Najin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Council President Chittum, I have immense respect for you. I do. I enjoy the committees that I sit on boards with you with, and I also would like to just state that we have a dysfunction within the council, and it's been here for a while, and a lot of it comes down to communication and respect for other councilors. None of us agree on all things, but the vast majority of us agree that what we're under the pressures that we're facing for the things that we have to make decisions on, that we have to work as a body, and give clear direction to council to administration that is backed by council, and that is, I think, the challenge that the majority of us actually have. We feel very much like children that don't have the ability to work together or have a say at certain times, and that is because of the culture of communication that has happened now for well over a year. But it is a struggle, and I don't mean to disrespect you in any way, because I appreciate you very, very much. But for this body to function better, we do need to consider making changes. So,
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. Regardless of who contacts the city attorney, it still costs us money. Also, the city administrator works for the council, not for the council president and the mayor. And if a majority of the council makes a decision, then that is what administration is supposed to follow. Again, I didn't agree with the decision that the council made, but I respect it, and we need to move forward from that.
Councilor Martell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Harriman addressed almost all of the points that I intended to make. I would just like to point out again that Councilor Longchamp, you were right. The mayor isn't taking enough heat for this. When you publicly, in the media and privately in emails, expressed to us that you didn't think anything wrong was done, and we find out it's you and David working hand in hand without any of the other councilors being aware of it. When staff is approached, or administration, by the mayor and the city council president, they're going to be inclined to do what they're asked. But when what you're asking them to do is in direct conflict of what the council voted for, you're putting our city staff and our administration in a very difficult position. And it leads to exactly the accusations of dysfunction and chaos that have been levied for some time by both staff and the community alike.
Councilor Roy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Chittum, I do have a lot of respect for you, but I do have to echo a little bit about what Councilor Martell just said, right? And one of the things you said earlier was about duress. I don't know about anybody up here, I can't speak for anybody else, but the decision I made was not under duress. I took some time to really think about the decision I was making. I also said, what the definition of insanity is. When you continuously do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. What have we been doing with our economic development department now for how many years? And it seems broken. Right now, we're at a point where we can change and overhaul anything at this point, and now is the time to do it. And I think if it doesn't work, we can revisit that in a couple of months, 6 months, whatever. We can do that, but right now is the time that we really need to do this. And when 5 people on this committee, on this council, decide something, it's not up to one person to go behind everybody's back. That is deceitful. It's not good. And, again, Councilor Najim pointed out, we have an identity crisis on this council. And when you go around and you do things behind people's back and you hide things from the community, that is wrong. And we all know the difference between right and wrong. We should. So that was wrong. And that's my point on this. This is where I stand.
I want to address a few things, and then we'll have a public comment for this agenda item. Unfortunately I was not here last meeting. And yes, as Councilor Noble asked me over email, and I responded, yes, I did know about it. And a lot of strong language has been used up here. I don't think it's deceitful, and I agree with David that if we look, I agree with David in terms of researching about where to find funding, and if we look back at why this decision was made, I would think that the council was a decision made to force a reorg, or was it made because we were out of money? And so if it was made because we were out of money, then it should be, I would think that the council would be happy if we found money to put back the position, but that's clearly not what's happening now. And I understand, I hear councilors, and I understand the way it looks. And then the other thing is I understand however we want to phrase this, a misunderstanding or from misunderstanding to deceitfulness or anywhere in between. I do not think that this rises to the level of removing the council president. In fact, we have been through, we have gone through council presidents at an astonishing rate, and for a variety of reasons. And I think this just speaks to, unfortunately, I just don't think this is this is helpful. We're going to head to public comment, and then we're coming back. Public comment for this agenda item, please.
Again, Matt Roy, Ward 6. Mr. Mayor, the council president has previously stated that we should pick and choose, or at least he thinks we should pick and choose which parts of the charter to follow, which itself contradicts and voids his oath of office or any of your oath of offices for such conduct. Now he thinks, based on what he said at the previous meeting, he needs to quote-unquote research charter provisions regarding reopening the municipal budget, which clearly state which circumstances that process can actually happen. As Council President might remember 2 years ago when Brian O'Malley was interim administrator and that question came up, it was clearly outlined in the charter. Rescinding his appointment is only a bare minimum at this point, given this pattern of conduct. I would remind the council, you have censured Council Harriman 3 times for a demonstrated pattern of activity. Councilor Chittum should do the honorable thing and not seek to be a candidate in any office for the November municipal election. Thank you.
My name is Renee Fortin. Here I am again. It's my second time. My concern has been voiced a little bit about building trust and being able to work together, and because it's not just about you guys, it's about all of us in this city. And sometimes when we're looking on, we're scratching our heads going, what is going on? Like what is happening? And I was here one night, and this is after Rin Sol lost her election to Eamon Osmond by a few votes. And I was really thinking she would just get put in that seat because she had campaigned, she had received all the signatures that were necessary, and she was just a few votes short. And I heard with my own ears from Mr. Chittum, and no offense to you in any way, it's just what I heard, I'm testifying to that, even after asking the lawyer what would be the best idea, and he basically said it could bring a lawsuit, there was a suggestion from you to overlook or circumvent the charter, because in this case, you didn't like the rules for some reason, or the rules weren't feasible that night to make a decision about who would sit in the seat that Ms. Noble is now sitting in. And I'm shaking like a leaf because I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't have that intention. It just blew my mind. And I felt suddenly like I don't know if I can trust my city council. And that's where I am, and I just wanted to be honest with you all. Thank you.
Matthew Agron, Ward 4. Councilor Chittum, you know I respect you because you respect the meaning of the word words and what words mean. Tonight we approach this. You say it was a misunderstanding. There's a point at the end of the meeting where you could have said, hey, can we look at reintroducing the economic development director? You didn't use that. Instead, you hid it from your fellow councilors. That's a lack of transparency. You hid it from the public, lack of transparency. We no longer know if we can trust any of you guys up there. This has been an ongoing issue. The lack of trust, because when things happen without people seeing anything, nobody knows who they can trust. You will also have in the past said, if I knew what was in the charter, I wouldn't have agreed to follow it. I agree the charter is a flawed document, but it's what the city runs under until we pass the Charter Commission, hopefully, and get a new one. But I asked when I heard you use the word, if I knew it was in the charter, I would not agree, I asked you then to resign your presidency. I don't ask you to resign as a councilor, but I ask you once more to do the right thing.
Peter Geiger, Ward 7, and two things. I'll address two different things. I've chaired State Board of Education, and I've chaired meetings, and I've chaired, and there's processes and there's work that's done when you're in a meeting, and there's work that's done behind, to get ready for the meeting and to address things. I don't personally think, from what I've read in the paper, that what David Chittum has done is warrants being bounced out as being president. Previous councils have bounced presidents out as well. What I do see in this council and every other council before you is people taking cheap shots at each other, being offended, and rising to this crisis. And I've been on other boards, and I've never seen anything quite like what happens in Lewiston. And it's not just this council; it's previous councils. So this is just more of what I see, and I don't watch every meeting you have. I want to address the position of the Director of Economic Development. Back in 1954, Geiger Brothers was going to collapse in Newark, New Jersey, the building and the company, and we looked around and looked at 21 different locations to come to, and one of the locations was Portland. And so we looked at Portland, went back to Newark, but the Economic Council, the first person running economic development, actually flew down to Newark on his own money to meet with my father and my uncle to get them to come up and take a look at Lewiston. They overlooked us because they looked at Portland. And so if you don't have a director of economic development who's aggressively going out getting businesses. So when we came in here in 1955, and however many years this is, you think about all the taxes we paid, all the people we've employed, and all of the things that we've accomplished, that's the one position that brings money into the community, builds the community. So I think, from what I read in the paper, this is like a huge overreaction. Somebody who's trying to find a way to do something that you want, bring it back to you for you to vote on. If I had an employee who disagreed with a decision I had, but did homework and came back to me with an alternative, then I would probably put their picture on my wall. So I'm sorry that you take shots at each other. That the sniping that goes on in here is not good for you. It's not good for the city. But I also appreciate what it's like to be in a public position where you're getting it from all sides. So anyway, I think that position of economic development is so important that it quite frankly was worthy of trying to be funded somehow if it was possible, coming back to you to approve. So anyway, I think David's done a great job as president, but we have changed presidents more times than you would expect for a council. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further public comment? Public comment is now closed. Back to the council. Councilor Longchamp, did you have your hand up?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to touch on this briefly again. My suggestion on reorganizing the third floor, there will be a director that will, I do believe, go out and do lots of talking to try to get businesses here. We've had a couple that have done well. I'm not going to speak bad about anyone, but I do think we have a good plan moving forward, and I think Lewiston will be very happy. But I would like to just ask, if I could ask a question to our council president, Chittum, and if he would be so kindly to be honest with us. Did our mayor direct you to seek funding or to put that position back? I'd like to ask you that question, and I hope you'd be honest with me. Mr. Chittum.
If you'd like to answer.
Thank you. No, I was operating under no one's direction. This was my immediate reaction after the council voted, after half an hour's discussion. This had not been brought to the council's attention before that meeting on the last meeting in May. it was basically sprung on us. There had been no prior discussion about eliminating the position. In fact, if I remember correctly, the proposal was to eliminate the position of MIS director. And that was, during this half-hour discussion, that was felt to be too important, and since we did not have a sitting economic development director, it felt very easy to say, we don't have to cause anybody to lose their job. So to answer your question directly, Councilor Longchamp, no, I was not directed. I don't take kindly to direction, as you may have noticed.
I did. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, try as I might, David does not allow himself to be bossed around by me. And so, but I will, it's been alluded to that I supported, or I knew about this. I absolutely knew about it. And did I support it? Yes. We need to find funding for this position. Councilor Najin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just state that economic development is an attitude and a process, and it's not a person. Ultimately, it's not a position, excuse me. So there are things that I think we all, as representatives of people who own businesses in our community, have gotten feedback concerning how the third floor functions. And there's a need right now, a desperate need, for us to be hitting the ground floor and not waiting for a savior. We have employees.
I'm sorry, not waiting for what? I didn't hear you.
And not waiting for a savior, right? Oh. Like, we have employees who are capable, and I think it's establishing a process and shifting an attitude. I would also say that the real challenge here isn't necessarily trying to find funding. It's directing our administration not to reorganize the third floor. Giving contrary direction to the majority of council, to administration as the representative of council is where the challenge is. And that's what I think. We're bringing up one issue, but multiple times, like one subject with this issue, but multiple times there have been issues where many of us have felt left out of decisions, not provided with correct information, and then also our concerns when brought to council president were not necessarily addressed the way that we would hope they would be. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people management that has to happen in that position, in my opinion, in order to keep people somehow working together, because we are very varied in who we are and what we believe. And it takes effort that not everybody is either suited to or wants to do. And so, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, we can go back and forth all night. Any further comments? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2? Yes. Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
It should come as no surprise that I will vote no.
Motion passed by a vote of 6-1.
Councilor Shittum, I appreciate your service. Thank you. Item number 14.
Item number 14, election of the City Council President for the remainder of this City Council term, said term to end January 4th, 2027. There are two items for requested action. The first one is to receive nominations for the role of President of the City Council.
So moved.
Well, we're taking nominations. So
right now.
yes. Do we have nominations, Councilor Martell? Do you have a nomination?
I'll defer to Councilor Noble.
Councilor Noble, do you have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Councilor Najin.
Councilor Najin, do you accept this nomination?
Yes.
Do we have nominations? Do not need a second because we're voting on nominations. Do we have any other nominations? Discussion on this nomination. Anything you'd like to say, Councilor Najin, since you just said yes?
I just think it's important that we work together in order to move the city forward. You know, the budget that we were just talking about, I worked very closely with Sue during that, Councilor Longchamps during that entire process. I listened very carefully to the messages that were given in public session, as well as conversations that happened afterwards about cutting filled positions in the city. There were multiple concerns about hitting a budget number. I just think that I would take the time to treat each of the people who sit up here as important to their constituencies and also to the council cohesion.
Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. So just real quickly, the things that
Can you,
I would
yeah.
ask of you is two things. Quite simple. Tell us when you're seeking advice from legal, and when you have a meeting with our administrator and the mayor, I would ask you that you brief us on the conversation. Thank you.
Did you want to respond to that, Councilor Najin?
That's something we've all been asking for about 2 years. So, yeah.
Councilor Martell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to state that I was prepared to, with some reservation, but nominate Councilor Najin again tonight. Him and I don't always agree on things, and we don't always see eye to eye. He's always been willing to have a conversation, and this position isn't about left-right ideology. It's about executing the job of council president in a way that is informative and openly communicative, if that's a word, communicative. But anyways, I look forward to seeing how you do if the vote passes, and I was prepared to make that nomination as well.
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I would also ask, should Councilor Najin win this vote, that he address concerns from all councilors that are brought forward and always represent the majority of the council when dealing with city staff and city administration.
Public comment for this agenda item.
Robert Glassby, Ward 6. I think the last time I was up here, I spoke about transparency and accountability.
Can you just move the mic closer to you? Thank you.
How's that?
We're doing better. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. The last time I was here, I talked about transparency and accountability, and obviously that's where we are right now. Regardless of the events, obviously things are headed in a different direction. But I do want to say that I've had some great conversations with Councilor Najin, even though we may not see completely eye to eye, as Councilor Martell has alluded to as well. However, you did hit on something that I can't emphasize enough. Which was councilor cohesion. That's the term that you used. So with this change, if this is the direction that you're headed, I would charge each and every one of you, like I have before, with the task of some type of cohesion and open lines of communication, giving and putting your best foot forward in that. So I know this was a difficult situation for you all to deal with, but I am encouraged that you can still find a way to work together for the benefit of each other and the citizens of Lewiston. Thank you.
Further public comment? Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Sure. So the motion before you is to elect Councilor Najin as the City Council President, said term to expire January 4th, 2027. Councilor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2? Yes. Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Congratulations, Councilor Najin. I look forward to working with you. Item number 15.
Item number 15, order proposing the creation of a charter commission. Requested action to approve the order proposing the creation of a charter commission.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councillor Chittum.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Najin. Councillor Chittum, would you like to kick things off?
This has been brewing for quite a while now, ever since the first run-in we had with a flawed charter. We've made several corrections, I think 3 corrections, which will be on the ballot in November, to fix the charter effective immediately upon passage by the voters. This would then create a charter commission that would review the charter completely. Unfortunately, I missed the window. My goal was to have candidates on the ballot following the question. That's permissible under state law, but the time for drawing papers and getting signatures and becoming a candidate for the position of charter commission has passed. So that will have to wait until probably the school referendum next May, the school budget referendum. But this will put before the voters the question of whether they want to take a look at, a fresh look at creating an entirely new charter for the city.
Councillor Longchamps.
I would agree. Thank you.
Councillor Najin.
I'd just like to thank Councillor Chittum for putting this agenda item forward. I know that we've all been kicking around when it should be done and how it should be done. It just needs to get done, so I'm glad you did it. Thank you.
Councillor Herman.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Our charter has several flaws with it, both small and technical, like we've put some fixes to the voters this November and some larger things as well that I think could be improved. And I think having a full charter commission would give it the eyes on it, put the eyes on it that it deserves, and hopefully we get some good ideas out of it.
I support this as well. Public comment.
Matt Roy, Ward 6. Council President, this goes further than January. This goes back, 5 years ago, minus a couple months, October 2021. The then council issued a warrant for this exact item. Not even 3 months later, in January 2022, as we now know through Freedom of Access Act requests, that council, at their first meeting, no less, at the behest of the then city administrator, Heather Hunter, rescinded that. We could have done this 5 years ago, 4.5 years later, and to Councilor Chittum's point, you guys could have voted, the council could have voted on this exact item before the first technical amendment. And then in June, we could have had this question. People could be collecting signatures. We're going to have, as the city clerk can confirm, we're going to have a 3-4 page ballot at this point, because we're going to have U.S. Senate, Congress, governor, legislature, municipal election, now 4 questions on a ballot. We could, now to Councilor Chittum's point, we're going to be collecting people who want to be county commissioners. Geez, I'm going back in history now. Commissioners for the Charter Commission are going to be collecting signatures in winter, early spring. This is Maine still. Yeah, you guys are just making a bad situation even worse by delaying this for the last 6 months, 4 years, 5 years.
Further public comment. Public comment's now closed. Back to the council. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2? Yes. Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Item number 16.
Item number 16, order directing the city administrator to request an additional agency liquor store license from the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. Requested action to approve the order directing the city administrator to request an additional agency liquor store license from the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Councillor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councillor Martel. Yes, okay. Discussion from the council. Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. I was looking into this and then had a few questions for Councilor Chittum, and he answered them, and I'm thankful for that. We have, I believe, 10 agencies right now, liquor agencies, is that correct? This is a little different for me. I've never, since I've been sitting here, have been asked to do this, but the troubling part that's getting me is Mr. Chittum, Councilor Chittum had said that the person that has brought this forward or contacted him wanted to be anonymous, and that just don't sit right. I don't know. I just don't feel right about it. So I will not be voting to support this for that reason. Thank you.
Councilor Najin.
This question is going to be more for the city clerk, I believe. Do you know if other municipalities actually license agency liquor stores as well, or is that always a state home rule?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I believe that this order is just to ask the Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages to allow for another license, and then my assumption is that the whole process for granting that license will play out, and correct me if that's wrong, but I believe that allows input from the city, from city departments, such as the police department, you know, if they've had trouble with any of the applicants who might be interested in this. I know the last time we had a license that was granted in the city, I think something closed, and then that license was freed up, and some of the applicants were not necessarily the best ones to get such a license, and thankfully they didn't. So I just want to make sure that that normal process will play out, and I assume so because it's a state license. It's not something that we can grant. We can only provide input on. So I'm comfortable with asking for another license to be available as long as that process will play out.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I was approached by an attorney on behalf of his client who wanted to have Lewiston request an 11th agency store license. We have 10 now, which is the limit provided under law for a municipality, the population of Lewiston. The law provides that upon the municipality's request, the Bureau can issue one additional agency license. That license would be issued and open to anybody who would apply. My understanding is that the Bureau would then contact the municipality, the police department, the codes department, and so on, and ask for input on the various applicants. I don't know who this applicant is. The attorney did not tell me who the applicant was. He simply wanted to have Lewiston request an 11th license, which it's allowed to do under the law.
Councilor Martell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm a little concerned about this. We only have 7 wards in the city. We currently have 10 liquor stores. Driving around downtown Lewiston, it doesn't seem that anyone who wants to get their hands on liquor struggles to do so. I'm a big proponent of business development in our city. I just don't know if this is going to be for the greater good. I think if we do get granted it and we make the request and it's granted, more than one someone's, I imagine, will step up in an attempt to fill it, which is just going to make another liquor store in our city. We have 10. You can get beer and wine at nearly any corner store, multiple places on several blocks. I just don't know that this is necessarily a good thing for Lewiston in big picture, and if it's necessary.
Councilor Longchamps, did you have something else?
Yes, quickly. So Councilor Chittum basically really confirmed it for me by saying, you know, we are at our limit at 10. We've reached our limit, and you're right, we only have 7 wards, so I think 10 liquor licensing stores or whatever is sufficient enough.
Councilor Najin.
there are 10 liquor licenses in the city, but there are multiple locations, I believe. So there are folks that are licensed that have multiple locations. I do have a major concern with the density of licenses within some of our socioeconomically challenged areas, to be honest. And so I guess the question would be, in order to improve something like this, and then also density of licenses in general, like where are liquor stores, right? In order to approve something like this, I would want to understand who was requesting it and how our third floor is looking at it, as far as like, does this make sense for us from an economic development standpoint? And I think that certainly in some cases it could, right? But I don't have enough information to ask the state to give us another liquor store. They could give us maybe some more money for problems we have in our community, but yeah.
So if I may, here's what's happening. So the attorney has a client. We do not know who this client is. The attorney has not shared that with us. And so the attorney has a client, and we can only assume it's, yes, for business development purposes. And so we are requesting another liquor license, and then this attorney feels like their client probably has the best shot at getting this liquor license when it goes to the state. And yeah, no, I'm in support of this. Councilor Harriman.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that while there are concerns with, with the density of certain things being sold in the city, most liquor stores are also grocery stores, and I can only think of one that we have in the city that is a standalone liquor store. I might be wrong about that, but most of them are grocery stores as well, and that helps. Being able to sell liquor also helps them with their development and their ability to sell other products as well.
Councilor Longchamps, and then we're going to public comment.
Thank you, Mayor. I hate doing this, but maybe we could table this and contact that lawyer and ask if they would please share who their client is. The only place or store that I can think of is like the Hannaford that's going up, which would make sense. But I would like to see if we could table this, maybe get confirmation as to who's asking, and I'd feel much better voting that way.
I would second that motion.
I appreciate that, Councilor Martel, but you have not been recognized.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Your apology is accepted. We are now heading to public comment.
Again, Matt Roy, Ward 6. Well, as Councilor Harriman alludes to, the only types of businesses that would be a state agency liquor store are grocery stores, gas stations, and I guess to the standalone point, a Ruper's, whose whole business is agency liquor store. But apparently we're forgetting one thing, Mayor and Council. Save-A-Lot has announced their close. They were selling alcohol. So that would free up one of those 10 licenses. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Deputy Administrator. But I guess to that also point, Hannaford would be, with their second location, Hannaford would be covered under their current license in Lewiston, as the property is also in Lewiston. So that raises the question, who is this, the attorney's, again, that gets back to the attorney's client, and what business are they hoping to open in Lewiston that none of you apparently know about or can't, or you can't actually mention at this point because it's still an ongoing thing, or the Deputy Director / Acting Director of Economic Development hasn't told you about yet. Thank you.
Further public comment? Back to us. So I understand what you're saying, Councilor Longchamp, if we had the name, but that still doesn't guarantee anything, because the state ultimately decides, and there could be 7 people or 7 entities that apply for this, and and the person who has asked us to ask the state to increase the limit may not get it in the end. And so, yeah, I still think we should pass this tonight. But yes, we're coming back to you, Councilor Martell.
I was just curious on a point of order if Councilor Longchamps had made a formal motion to table this that wasn't recognized, Mr. Mayor.
I appreciate that. Are you making a motion to table this?
That's exactly what I was doing, yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do you catch all that, Madam Clerk?
I did, yes, thank you.
Okay. I guess in the future, if councilors can, there's the difference between asking to table and then wondering if we should table. And if councilors could just make themselves clear in the future, that'd be great. We now have a motion to table on the floor. Discussion before we vote. Councilor Harriman.
I just wanted to check on the fact that was raised that one license could cover different locations. I'm not sure that that's the case. I just pulled up the 10 that are in Lewiston. There are 2 separate ones listed for Roopers, and then all the other, the other 8 that are available. I wouldn't think that the state would allow one licensee to open up as many locations as they wanted, because that kind of goes against the point of the licensing process, which is to restrict how many locations can sell liquor.
Thank you, Councilor Harriman. Anything else? Councilor Martell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, this is a community and a city that struggles mightily with abuse and the results of whether it's alcohol abuse or drug abuse, and continuing to just provide opportunity for people to indulge in self-destructive behavior is not the way I believe we should move Lewiston forward, even if it puts a few extra dollars on the tax roll. So I very much support tabling this.
Yes, Councilor Najin.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that I think all conversation at this point has to be germane to the motion to table. And so I have plenty of things I'd like to say too, but I just wanted to put that out.
What would be germane is why we shouldn't table something. So if you have something to that effect.
I do have something.
Please
like I don't
continue,
have enough
Counselor.
information, right, in order to make a decision right now. And so ultimately, I don't know if one license covers multiple locations. I don't know. I don't know enough about asking for. I just know that we have a population of 38,000, and we're given 10 licenses for 30 to 45,000, right? And so we're like right in the middle there. There'd have to be a good reason, I think, to request an extra license, or a pattern here I don't see. And so I just don't have enough information. I'd be comfortable to table until a date certain, for instance.
Councilor Longchamps, back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I'm not completely shutting this down, but I would like to know who is asking. And if that has to be an executive session, that's fine too. Thank you.
Councilor Chittum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Longchamp, I did ask, and I repeatedly requested from the attorney, and the attorney was bound by his client not to divulge. So I can ask again, but the answer will be, I can't tell you.
Councilor Longchamps.
If that client really wants a liquor license here in Lewiston, I would suggest that he gets on the wagon.
To that end, perhaps after this vote, the attorney will be more amenable to asking his client if he can relay that to us. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
I'm sorry,
Yes.
1 second. Councilor Noble, did you have something?
That's fine. I just was asking to move the vote, if we can move the question.
We're moving it right now. Madam Clerk, please continue with the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
No.
Ward 4?
No.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
No.
Motion passed by a vote of 4-3.
Item number 17.
Item number 17, order approving the disposition of 11 King Avenue. Requested action to approve the order approving the disposition of 11 King Avenue.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilor Chittum, second by Councilor Harriman. Discussion? Public comment? Back to the council. Councilor Najin?
So this is buildable property, I believe. That's correct?
It's, excuse me, it's a building that's been condemned, and their plan is to rehab the existing building that's on the site.
So the bidder that we're being recommended to approve is going to rehab it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
We're now up to the second public comment period for those that did not offer public comment during the first public comment period. And the second public comment period is now closed. We're now up to, we're going to combine these two. We have reports and updates and new business from councilors. Councilor Longchamps, did you have something?
We're combining the two?
Yeah, I would just, yeah,
Just go at it.
proceed.
All right, thank you. As most members of the community are aware of some comments that were on Facebook over the last couple of weeks, we have received many phone calls. Our police department they've received complaints regarding this comment. It was very concerning, and I would like to ask our administrator if there is some way that we could put on our next council meeting as an agenda item to discuss our ethic policy. I know Bangor just did some tweaking to theirs, or perhaps added some things to it. But I'd like to see if that would be something possible that we could do specifically for our committee members and council as well.
Yes, and we can do some research. You mentioned Bangor. We're happy to pull up Bangor's recent actions and maybe provide that as some template and some examples. So we'll do some research and we'll have it on the next agenda.
Thank you.
I would suggest that it probably needs to be workshopped first. Councilor Chittum.
Thank you. Question for anyone who can answer it. Has there been any notification of public involvement on the redesign of the stairs from Park to Lisbon to Canal Street?
Yes, we actually met with Public Works today with some initial concepts they have. They're currently working up some budget numbers and what could potentially be accomplished. So right now they're in the gathering information phase as far as the financial piece, but we actually met with them today with some just initial thoughts. We had to walk through of what could be possible there.
Administrator Cainrath, there was a provision that there be public input and the involvement of the Downtown Lewiston Association at a minimum. Has it reached the point where that can be scheduled? We heard.
Yeah, so they've already spoken with the DLA. They plan to bring it back to the DLA for more comment, but we could also have a larger public, input session also before anything gets rolling. Obviously, to gather public input.
Thank you. We heard tonight from Tom Platts about the possibility of a corridor running through Mill Number 5 that would feed in beautifully to these stairs, and it would be shame to squander the opportunity to make the best use out of them. So I would like to encourage anybody who's listening and has thoughts about how those stairs can be improved, both sets of them, please let us know.
Before I forget, I was given this by Councilor Longchamp, so thank you. I knew we had the posters. I didn't realize we had these. I don't know if we can zoom in here, but as mentioned, are we zooming in? Maybe. It's getting late. Okay. So I'm holding in Beyond, Kurt, where are you? I'm holding in Beyond the Badge happening this Thursday. Facebook event is online. You can find all about it. And yes, or you can, Kurt, we love you. Okay, yeah, we're good. That's close enough. Okay, just go to the Facebook event. Councilor Longchamps.
Thank you, Mayor. Administrator Ken Rath, I just wanted to be clear, I did not ask for a workshop. So I would just like something to be put on the agenda. We already have a policy. I think we just need to strengthen it. Thank you.
If I may, Councilor Longchamps, as most of you know, I hate introducing bureaucratic delay into our proceedings, but if we're going to do anything other than change minor language, I think we just need to first talk about it as the body and then move forward from there. Just have a discussion. Councilor Najin.
Since our ethics policy applies to both employees and elected officials, I think that we'll need feedback from HR on anything that we're willing to change as well. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So, yeah, just to mention that.
Further reports, updates, new business from councilors. Councilor Najin, back to you.
So the Public Health Committee met last week and had the Maine CDC come before us to talk about some of their initiatives. One of the things that was pretty appealing was their violence intervention programming that they're looking at putting into Lewiston. And so as more information becomes available, I'll share it, but I think they've also had conversations with city staff. And so when something is actually materializing, we know there's funds there. So that's the plus. There's actually funds there. But when something actually materializes, we'll be able to get more information about that. So.
Are we calling it a night, councilors? I have a motion to adjourn.
You may.
Councilor Chittum.
Second.
Second by Councilor Najin. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Counselor from Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
No.
Motion passed by a vote of 6 to 1.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our studio audience here. Thank you for everyone watching online. You all have a wonderful night, Lewiston.